Anyway, let's try and remember what we did. I'm pretty sure we got kidnapped. Ended up in a building. Even funnier, please kidnap me. Talking about kidnapping. We got kidnapped, we ended up in a building. Our friend got taken, who was the son of the guy that got shot. And then I don't remember the rest. Anyway, the one window I saw had an odd sheen. Now I can be, like, really close when I'm talking in scenes. Hi, John. Kill everyone. It's not, I don't think I have that power. I think I'm trying to stop that, unfortunately. After 3 flights, I was breathing hard, my heart pounding with a mixture of exertion and worry. Yeah, I think I'm trying to figure out what happened. Yeah, so I remember this because we got to the sign saying the office. Right, I remember. I remember where I am. Felt like I woke up inside a video game. Yeah. A rough drawing. The cog. The cog is from something that was given to someone. I think he gave it to me at the hospital before I decided to then go to Australia, but I didn't go to Australia, I went to Japan over Australia. Big brains. That's it. Oh, Waz, come back. Waz, where are you? Etienne? It was Etienne, right? Etienne. Someone go back through my stream and figure it out. It was Etienne. I'm learning the Canadian. The Canadianness. Bust through the door or call his phone. Where were we? We found the cog. So we're trying to find the cog. He had the... No, he gave me the cog. He gave me the cog, though. Well, if he's been kidnapped... No, but then he's been taken... I'm pretty sure he's been taken up to a floor. Bust. Seems like fun. Alright, I'm trusting Laura. I glanced around, checking no one was nearby. The hall appeared deserted, an endless line of grey carpet lit by fluorescent tiles in the ceiling. I charged through the door. Oh, he's in there. Seeing a startled Etienne and racing to his side before whirling around to confront any number of attackers. The room was empty. It was the size of an average living room with a circle of wooden chairs and several dusty bunks lined up along one wall. As far as I can tell, there's nothing here, said Etienne. It's just like every other room in a row except for the drawing on the door. He seemed to have forgotten about how we were brought inside the building. My body was still buzzing with adrenaline. What did they want with your blood? They said relatives of geniuses are allowed in, he said. They also told me I didn't need a full DNA test because I'm AB negative, which would be reassuring, except how do they know that? Who's been sharing my medical data and what else do they know about me? Maybe your dad had something to do with it. I felt my chest tightening at the thought of the eccentric professor. He'd want you to have shelter. But when the sun dies? Like, I'm so... Oh, this is why I should probably have played this game in one go. Oopsie daisy. Maybe, he nodded slowly. Though he still looked uneasy. I assume the Aetherites, however the bloody hell we're saying it these days, were involved. Gathering personal information without permission seems like a classic secret society fair. He let it go and gestured generally around us. Once this place gets crowded, he continued, I imagine they'll tighten their entry policy. For now, it seems to be down to the Dragon Lady at the desk. She's fierce, but apparently if someone knows what this place is, it's enough for her. After a bit of light kidnapping, of course. Nobody got time for this game in one go. I feel like I could probably do it if I was, like, properly reading. If I didn't have to read out loud, I read faster. So I feel like if I was properly, like, I think I could. I've got 2 others that I don't think I'll do them on stream. I probably will play them myself. I peered through the screen over the window. The window began at my chin height and extended upwards beyond the ceiling. It was a strange effect. Does this have a video of a fake office playing on it too? Etienne shook his head. Most of the videos were installed in storage rooms, so no one breaks them by mistake. They move around a little sometimes too. How do you know that? I asked. The matron? Matron told me. Have you seen her yet? No, I was looking for you. You know, sort of as a friend. Gonna come and save you. He nodded. I recommend you put it off. In my experience, people are more lenient to rule breakers when they haven't been told the rules yet. She said the Aetherites are 2 floors up. Shall we find them? See the matron first or find the Aetherites? Did he just told us not to go looking for her. So, let's go find them. These are the bitches that are all my problems. Smuggeroony. Nice name. Thank you for the follow. For this? I'll take it. Making choice games about a son? I'll take it. Hello. We went up to the Aetherites' floor and saw many more people from a range of countries. This floor wasn't filled with boardrooms or living quarters, but a variety of different laboratories. We caught a glimpse of a Caucasian woman in a lab coat, carefully measuring chemicals, several Japanese people checking over meteorological equipment, and others scrawling on whiteboards, debating theories and scowling at their computers. The vast majority was simply working on computers, although I definitely saw a Tetris game among them. What a surprise! When does someone not play Tetris? I would play Tetris. Like the other floors, it was set out as an enormous circle with rooms on either side of the primary hallway. When we'd almost completed a full circuit of the building, Etienne finally spotted a familiar face. Dr. Wong, he said, it's good to see you looking well again. Is that the guy that was shot? Who we left in a hospital bed and flew to Japan? How the hell did he get here? We left him in hospital. Okay, sure enough. You made it. I was afraid the dragon at the front desk would chase you off. Etienne and I exchanged glances. We're here now, I said, producing Sol's diary. Does anyone have the key to open this? I just wave it in the air, like, please, open my diary. His eyes widened and he touched the diary with one finger, as if it was the crown jewels. Is that what I think it is? It is. It's a VHS. If you give it to me, every one of us will devote ourselves to revealing and interpreting its secrets. Etienne stiffened. You know I can't give it up, I said. Sol was my employee when he wrote this diary, and it contains all the conclusions he reached while I paid him. The diary is mine. Dr. Wong's face fell, and his muscles tense as if he would snatch the diary from my hand. I will beat your ass. I don't know how, but I will figure it out. If you change your mind, come and see me, he said. I'm in room 30 on the 8th floor. The rest of the Aetherites are nearby. Those of us that survived the recent attack, that is. Don't show that diary to anyone else. Secrets are like prison cigarettes around here. Oh, am I gonna get fucked? I hope not. I really hope not. I'll keep that in mind, I said cautiously. Etienne and I found a deserted lounge and had Moti check for listening devices. I wonder what I've gotten you into, said Etienne ruefully. This is a very interesting place. Well, good for you, Moti. Well, we're really proud of you. Well, I said, enjoying Moti's optimism, as always. With so many brilliant researchers in one place, someone must know something useful. In theory, yes, said Etienne. I get the feeling it may be more difficult to get out than it was to get in. That's why her hair is so big, it's full of secrets. Charlie used to say that at Lego. Because her hair is massive, and obviously she worked for Marvel, so she literally wrote it as hair is so big, it's full of secrets. And I didn't get any of the secrets. She didn't even warn us. Well, actually, she sort of did warn us about in-game. She was like, have fun, good luck, R.I.P. I was like, oh, God. Thank you, Charlie. I made a face. We'll deal with that when we have to. Or do you want to escape now before they get their claws into us properly? No, he said. I'm in. Better these wackos than the 100th day cult. When you put it like that, it's an easy choice. Are we going to explore? No. Fuck off, Moti. Yes, Moti, we are. Let's start on the ground floor and work our way up. Let's start at the roof and work our way down. Up or down, ladies and gentlemen? Should we go up? Should we go down? Ow. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm dying again. And that one I can't blame on you, so... Can't blame you, Laura. Ooh, somebody already says up. So work from the ground floor and go up. I'll take that, I'll take that. I definitely... I move back up, right? Let's go up. Up, okay, up it is. Etienne and I took the lift as far down as it would go. We reached the ground floor, but it was clear from the security keypad that there were more floors beneath the ground level. We spent an hour exploring the ground floor, which was mainly concerned with food. There was an enormous public dining hall and several restaurants. We estimated that it was sufficient to feed at least 500 people. Oddly enough, we were utterly unable to find the foyer. Apparently it was a false entrance, a simple but effective defense if someone attempted to get into the building through the front door. Hey, Cody! How you doing? How's life? We did find real windows at last. Most of the eating areas had windows facing into what appeared to be a central courtyard. Because of the height of the building, it was in shadows despite the glass roof high above. Number 5 was already making us claustrophobic, so when we spotted an actual door into the courtyard, we couldn't believe our luck. It featured a wide grassy area with picnic tables and chairs as if it was truly open to the outside world. Even as an illusion, it was an excellent idea. I couldn't understand why no one was sitting on the courtyard's tables. Then we stepped outside and we understood. Bees! Oh, not bees. It was more than just the building's height preventing the sunlight from reaching inside the courtyard. Directly above our heads was an enormous metal ball. It was cradled by a number of thick cables. No amount of cables could have made me feel secure. The metal sphere was larger the size of a house. Shouldn't that say then the size of a house? And it wasn't even fastened securely enough to prevent movement. I would be like, no thank you, sir. If that thing swings, I am out. I'm gone. I have left the building. Is that a counterweight in case of earthquake? What do you think, Moti? It's an elegant solution to Japan's earthquake vulnerability. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, it is. Yes, teacher, there are probably several other spheres in the building, all working together to balance any major geological movement. Etienne and I stepped back inside the main building without needing to discuss the decision. The sphere might be a brilliant safety feature, but we still didn't want to stand beneath a 600-ton pendulum. A Japanese woman stood at the window, holding a clipboard and staring at the sphere. Excuse me, I said. Is that designed for earthquake safety? She grinned delightfully. Wonderful, isn't it? Since I was no longer underneath it, I agreed. Etienne and I introduced ourselves, and she told us to call her Miki. Miki? Let's go with Miki. Wait, Miki. Miki. Oh, you're an engineer. Stop talking. A geologist, she said before looking confused. Who said that? I held up my wrist so she could see Moti's face. Call me Moti. He's so sweet, but he's an idiot. Oh. Are you a emoticon device? Teacher, may I speak Japanese? Oh, don't ask me if I can translate. You may speak Japanese if Miki is able to tell us about the underground levels. I can do better than that, she said. Come on, I'll take you there. This stranger danger. Stranger danger. She and Moti talked in rapid-fire Japanese the whole way down, pausing only to explain the laboratory equipment as we passed it. A lot of it went over my head, but it was all clear that Miki's department was gathering data from all over the world. Have you reached any conclusions, I asked. Does geology give an insight into the sun's disappearances? Yes and no, she answered. We're checking and rechecking because that is how we gather and confirm knowledge, but once we remove external variations such as the moon's altered orbit having an effect on volcanoes, the pattern is clear. What pattern? I asked. Nothing, she said. Nothing has changed. Our Earth is still the same beautiful, unstable ball of forces it has always been. Right. Thank you, I said, doubtfully. That's good to know. She smiled. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Sherlock Holmes, I said. Ah, Laura, your favourite. We are eliminating the impossible. The improbable truth lies elsewhere. Do you have any ideas about why the sun went out? I asked. In Sherlock Holmes stories, magic is always reduced to trickery, she said. I rather hope it's all been a rather poor joke. You're the only person I've heard put forward that theory, Etienne said admiringly. Whatever. It's not a theory, really. It's a coping mechanism. I was going to say that's a Sherlock thing. It is a Sherlock thing. Favourite. Or is it the good ones? We can make it your favourite. I'll just have a little mini picture of Benedict Cumberbatch just sat on the side for everything for you to look at. It's a coping mechanism. Maybe that's what we should do for Comic-Con one day. And do Sherlock. Oh, you'd stab me. Since my own life's work is unable to provide an answer, I choose to believe the problem isn't truly real. Otherwise, how would I go on? Before I could find the right platitude? Yeah, sure. For the occasion, 2 other Japanese entered the laboratory where we stood. They stared at us, and the taller of the pair said, "This is a restricted area. Who are you two, and how did you get here?" Pretend to be a researcher or show him Moti. Cunt. Hey, look, I'm just saying, it would be a really good idea. You could be Sherlock and I could be John. It would be great. It'd be wonderful. I've already got the wigs. We'll get you a wig. We'll get you a big coat. Oh, I'll be fine. Yeah, please hate me. Right, so we got in here with the lady, but she knew who we... Hello? She knew who he was because we showed her Moti. So I feel like if we show Moti... Yeah, I think if we show Moti, it's not gonna be a bad thing. We brought in a emoticon to demonstrate, I said, quickly turning Moti's face to him. Oh, how wonderful, may I ask it a question? Why is everyone so loving over this little man? Would you prefer to speak in English or Japanese? The man almost swooned in delight and proceeded to have a lightning-fast conversation. I didn't understand a word. Was this? Hi, Richard. Welcome to, if we're gonna see if I ever get to the end of this game and if the sun goes out and if Moti isn't a complete idiot. Welcome. You get to listen to my beautiful voice for hours on end. Where was I? Wonderful, he said to me at last. Thank you so very much. He walked away, still shaking his head in delight. What did you talk about? I asked Moti. The weather and rocks. He is very knowledgeable. You're an adorable little bastard. I chuckled. Haha, indeed. Miki, Miki is still here. Smiled. That went well. And now you have an excuse to accompany living quarters here if you wish. We don't get much sunshine, but if it all goes wrong, we have the best emergency exits. Thank you, we definitely need a place to sleep. Or thank you, but we already have a place to sleep. We don't. I'm pretty sure we have a hotel and I'm pretty sure we can't leave. Or we at least think that it's going to be harder to leave than it is going to be... It was to get in. I feel like when I play this game, I no longer make sense. That is how this is how it lies. This is the problem when you run out of cans. I go through the bottles like it's nothing. I'm pretty sure it's more than a can in that bloody drink. Let's sleep here. Okay. Seems safe. Well, we've done it now. I mean, in the last one, weren't we, like, debating whether or not we were sharing a room with the poor man? We were shown into a room that was much smaller than a 2-bedroom hotel suite. Unfortunately, I was missing real windows and sunshine already. The rule list The rule list blue tack, there we go, onto the back of the door indicated that we need to present our passes at every meal. Dinner time was fast approaching. At Etienne's suggestion, I decided to meet the matron. It wouldn't be a good idea to put it off any longer. The matron was a steely-eyed woman whose authority made her seem older than me, although when I looked at her smooth skin and black hair, I revised my estimate of her age to be somewhere in the 20s. Joey wanted to fuck and we're only hoping, there's only one bed. There never is one bed. There's always two. We don't get lucky. There is always enough beds. Always. Scam. But look, I found your woman. Smooth skin and black hair. It's like your type. And a bit of a bitch. Also your type. I explained who I was truthfully, and she simply looked at me with an unblinking stare until I began to babble. I caught myself and stopped talking, realising she was making me uncomfortable on purpose. Definitely your type. Marry her, Laura. It must be done. It is law. Must marry her. She smiled wolfishly and recited a rule list including half a dozen areas where a probationary case such as myself was not allowed. The forbidden areas included any laboratory or occupied sleeping quarters where I had not been specifically invited, and the same conditions on all floors below ground level and all floors above the 40th, including the roof. Are we clear? She said. Yes, matron. She signed a probationary pass card and gave it to me. I can disable it from here or add privileges as you earn them. I nodded, feeling like a schoolchild at the principal's office, and closed the door behind me on the way out. Etienne gave me a rueful smile. Beautiful, isn't she? And fierce. She's quite something. Definitely Laura's type. Definitely. Something, I said. Yes. Evil. 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 If she wasn't so terrifying, I'd definitely have a crush on her, he said. Laura, this game's exposing you quite a lot. There we go. I think that's my louder side. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, that's my louder side. Oh. Hello again. That's my louder side. I never know with this damn thing anymore. Probably sound hella loud now. Oh well. Oopsie daisy. Maybe I could definitely turn the game up this time then. Can't believe the game is doing this. Laura exposed confirmed. Thought we were amigos. If she can kill you, you want her. That's how it works. I admitted she was stunning in more ways than one. Although I've been too nervous to appreciate it fully at the time. Fortunately, the next place for us to investigate was the dining hall. Go together or split up. I feel like if we split up, one of us is going to die. Like, straight up, just gonna die. I know that, like, I know other people can die. I'm pretty sure I can't die until maybe the end. But I'm starting to think that Defo Cluedo vibes don't split. That's what I mean. I feel like if we split, something's gonna happen. We should stay together. Don't let my wife die. I'm not with your wife. I'm with my wife. I mean, the man that I'm not sharing a bed with. We'll go together. We'll go together. I need to put a little sticker on this thing, so I know which bit is the loud part. Because I always forget. Because as soon as you go other places, it gets quieter. And it doesn't make any sense. Boop. Boop. Completely different. The adult man. Etienne and I shared a large Japanese-style pizza. We're sharing food now, like... You know. He saw me making a face and shook his head. You need to educate your palate. This has a delicious, subtle blend of flavours. If only one of them was mozzarella, I said, pushing away my plate. I've had enough excitement for today, so I'll try something else Japanese tomorrow. I spotted a Peruvian-looking woman wearing a shirt with what looked like Spanish on it. I wonder if she was familiar with the 100th Day group. If she was, I was glad she made it out. She didn't speak to anyone over a meal, and she left alone. Do we want to stalk the woman, or at least just go up and be like, look, love, let's have a conversation. Like, what are you wanting to do? How are you wanting to play this? So I'm going to need like 8 of these. Oh, my back. It's warm in here. I don't like it. Also, I'm pretty sure this desk is going to give way one day. I know she was a fibre, but god damn, she's dying. What would I go? I would... But like, following her is... I feel like following her's the bad one. Because we have the pass that only lets us into certain places. Whereas we go to speak to her, we wouldn't technically be doing anything wrong. Because we would just be politely speaking. I think. She say, ask for privileges, right? You don't... No, I think if you want any more privileges, you have to earn them. I don't know how you earn them. I don't know if the Matreon decides just at random points to give you more. But you're only allowed in living quarters or labs that you have been invited into, which Miki invited us into her one at the bottom. Or on the ground floor, sorry, or whichever one she took us to. And then we're not allowed on anything past the 40th floor at the top or the roof. So we wouldn't be able to get into the roof anyway. So I feel like hurry to catch up and speak to her wouldn't be breaking any of the rules. Unless the woman turns around and is like, how dare you speak to me? So I feel like that could be our best way. I think. Fucking light, you make me so bloody tired. Little bitch light. Then again, I've learned that the low light on my webcam was being a bitch. And that's why it was being a little play up. I was trying to do anything. Stupid game. I'm gonna go with hurry. And if it goes wrong, it's Laura's fault. I hurried up to the woman and stopped in front of her, feeling like a fool. Are you from South America? I asked. It was just, I was in Cusco and I saw the temple and it was so interesting. She smiled gently at my babbling. Cusco is my home. I'm glad you liked it and glad you spoke to me. My name is Dr. Carmen Wales and I'm a psychiatrist. She laughed at my expression. Most of the population here studies hard data. Numbers and measurements, and the density of the Earth, or the heat from the sun. It's funny how the human brain is so much more complicated than the rest of the universe put together. Sorry, I said. You must get people looking shifty all the time. It's true, she said. Now that I was closer, I noticed a large burn scar covering the left side of her neck and shoulder. She was also missing a finger on her left hand. I caught myself staring and stopped. Don't worry, she said. I can't see into your psyche with a glance. That was probably for the best.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Think of all I've been through since the first sun outage incident. In any case, I'm glad to have met you, she said. What's your field? Fuck all, mate. I don't actually have a job. What's Map sending me? iOS 15 is so aesthetically pleasing. Everything's just nice and round. If you don't take 10 minutes extra on your break, are you even on break? Fat mood. I've taken many eons of a break. So much that I don't work. I'm an investigator. See, that's what I do now. Which I suppose is closer to psychiatry than anything else around here. I bet, she said with a smile. We should have coffee sometimes. Maybe I'm gonna fuck her. Return to the dining hall or return to the living quarters. Didn't I just leave my mate in the dining hall? Did I literally have pizza with him and just get up and be like, sorry, pretty lady, goodbye? So I think he's still in the dining hall. So I should return to the dining hall? Possibly? Because he didn't go back. Did he? I'm trying to remember every single thing that's happened in this freaking game. He didn't go back. Did he? No, because we had the pizza. I complained about the mozzarella. No, I'm going to return. I'm pretty sure he's still in there. I hope. Most of the dining hall was empty, but I walked back and forth carefully checking for Etienne. He wasn't there. Oh, for fuck's sake. Boy. But Miki was. She waved me over and introduced me to several of her colleagues. I was beginning to realise that my ignorance made me non-threatening. Most of the denizens. Anyway, of number 5's paranoid world were protecting their secrets from the others. Since I didn't belong, they could easily talk to me more easily. It was a very useful position for me to be in if I could make any sense of what I was told. After excusing myself, I let Moti know to transcribe every conversation I had so I could read and reread them afterwards. Etienne was in our room. I should have just gone back there, what a bitch. But starting to wonder where I was, I told him what I'd learned. I'm glad this place is proving interesting, he said. Shall we visit the Atherites now, or do you think it's not worth it? So we don't want to give them the diary. Because Dr. Wong said that it's like prison cigarettes. They'll trade it for anything. Or at least they'll try to get their hands on it. And then... So we want to keep the diary a secret. So saying no... Saying no would leave us with just the diary, but then Wong... Unless we go back to Wong... and give him the diary and be like, just between us. But what if that doesn't happen? What if we then go up and then somebody else gets the handle? I'm thinking way too far into this. What do y'all think? Should I give it to the... Like, go up and try and have another conversation? Or... the father? Like, keep it to ourselves? Laura says top. So, like, give them a try. Like, see if they can actually do some good. Also, yeah, I'm gonna keep apologising if my voice does fluctuate. I'm still learning this fucking idiot thing. And Richard says stop. Alright, let's go for it. You can still do it. Take a brisk 20-minute walk to... Fuck off. No, thank you. No, hugs. Alright. We went up to the 30th floor and started looking for Dr. Wong. Eventually we found Dr. Wong having tea with several others in an oversized kitchen. He introduced us to the others and we sat down to chat with them. Unfortunately, none of what they said made sense. Forgive me, said Dr. Wong. I'm afraid we're boring you. Not at all. Or at least not boring, but confusing. Can you explain what you're talking about? At first, the scientists in the room were awkwardly silent, as if unsure how to answer my question. We're discussing ether, however it's pronounced. Finally said, earning a sharp look from some of the others. What? We can't shy away from talking about it anymore. What's... ether, whatever we're going with. Quickly asked before the others had the chance to protest. Look while we walk back. That's okay. Ether is an element that is ever present and ubiquitous all around us. It affects every person in the world in subtle ways, even right now. It affects how you feel and what you're thinking. I'm just also pretty sure it's the thing from Thor, so it's fine. It affects my thoughts and feelings, like a drug. He shook his head. No, it's not chemical, it's more like resonance. Resonance. It sounded like pseudoscience. That must be why they call themselves etherites. Or aetherites. The tricky part is measuring something like ether, said a slender woman with a British accent. Sometimes, would you like proper light? Sometimes it feels like closer, proper Essex, to philosophy than science. Dr. Wong sucked in a sharp breath. But it is science, he asserted firmly. We just don't know enough yet to do anything useful with what we have. All right, I said. I understood that much. Thank you. Shall we turn in? Asked Etienne. Let's finally go to bed together. I'm too restless, or I have an idea. I'm too restless to sleep? Or I have an idea on what to do. I'm assuming that's what I'm too restless means, is that he can't sleep. And then I have an idea. But like if we go for I have an idea, we're going to end up doing something stupid. And now I feel like that's what we want to do. We want to go and do something stupid. Because somehow in all of this, we started out by just looking at the sun. Someone gets shot. Next thing I know, I'm in one place. Then I'm in another place. Then I'm looking for someone's kidnapped daughter. And now I'm in fucking Japan. I have an idea. Oh my god, I have an idea. Oh yeah. That's exactly the only reason I got a no mic, so as I can get really close and be like, oh yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh. Having seen the rampant paranormal in number 5 and some of its overly complicated secrets, I felt it was well worth examining the room with the cog during once more. Etienne agreed, and we searched this room minutely, looking for secret panels, symbols, or anything that might be useful. We didn't find anything and ended up sitting side by side against the wall talking about the people we'd met and how best to connect our small pieces of knowledge together. Cog, darling. I just say it fast. No cock, darling. Just a cog. You got sex on your mind, boy. It's that sex shop you work at. You don't need any more. I took our soul's diary and we took turns holding it as if it would help us get inside. The light faded, but we were comfortable, so we continued chatting in the dark, remembering Professor Soul. Then the door opened. And half a dozen people filed inside, speaking in whispers and leaving the light off. Maybe the cock is coming. Greet them, so we can be like, ooga booga. or we can stay silent and just see what they're talking about. I feel like if we greet them, they're gonna be like, "What are you doing in here?" Whereas if we're like, "Shh," they'll actually talk. We'll find out all the secrets. At least that's what I'm hoping. So I think we should stay silent and see what happens. Because I feel like that's going to be a fun option. I hope. Oh my god, I'm going to go through this. It's legit in the store. The gutter is the first. The gutter is the first 5 to 10 stages of thought development in general conversation. Jeez. Let's see, I couldn't. Someone will be like, "Here, let's have all these conversations," and I'll be like, yes. Be fucking terrible. I would literally be like, "Oh, I was thinking about this one because I've done this, 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 and this," and I'll be like, yes. Be awful. That'd be terrible. I put a hand on Etienne's arm, and neither of us moved or spoke. The people coming in closed the doors behind them and left the lights off. What news? Said a woman's voice. Ariel's been The Little Mermaid, she's gone, said a man. She knew it was coming, and she made sure to cut all ties with us some weeks ago. I kept an eye on her local news rather than using an informant. Several people in the group sighed in a mixture of relief and sadness. Ariel will sacrifice herself for us, said the woman. Perhaps she should have been the one to die, said the man. We'll never know, said the woman. All we know is for certain that we failed again. How are things in Rome? The man asked. Wait, did you hear that? I lit my torch and greeted the startled gear, doing the best imitation of a person who was still groggy from being waken up. Hello, what are you doing in our room? Blinking in sudden light. You'd get used to it, I'm sure. I'd fucking be terrible, mate. I would be fucking terrible. I saw half a dozen people, a mixture of Japanese people, Caucasians, Africans, and others. They stared back at Etienne and I. Konnichiwa, I said. One of them laughed. Please speak English, your accent is terrible. Etienne and I stood and introduced ourselves through yawns. I noticed several people wearing wore or held wooden cogs on their persons, so this was a meeting place. Ask if they knew Professor Soul, or tell them you're interested in their wooden cogs. We're here for the cogs. I'm just going to immediately ask about it, whether it gets us murdered or not. I showed Professor Soul cog to the others. This belonged to my friend and employee, Professor Soul, before he was murdered. How much do you know? The woman asked, giving the cog a a glance. Fuck my English. Nothing, but I want to learn, and not much, but I'll share what I have. My space bar's shiny. Anyway, I get easily distracted. Do we even have anything other than the diary, which I'm pretty sure we don't want to share? That light makes me tired. I have not been tired all day. I will say share because I think they'll give us something. I'll trade knowledge, see. But we have something better than knowledge. Access. She raised an eyebrow to the forbidden floors. When I nodded... No, we don't. No, we fucking don't. We don't have access to, anything. Oh, we're gonna get murdered. Happily, I said, if you tell me something useful before we go. What's your subject? Same as everyone, the sun outage events. Why are they happening and how can we make them stop? She let out a breath. I wish I could answer those questions. I can at least tell you one thing. Long ago, there were other sun outage incidents. How long ago? And how do you know? She shrugged elegantly, and it was my turn to share. Etienne led them away from the cog room and all the way to the sleeping quarters we'd been offered. I reminded myself finally the rules didn't say we weren't We weren't allowed to invite more people in once we accepted. As we drew closer, we heard muffled voices and saw light leaking from another room on the same floor. I wonder who's entertaining at this hour, Etienne said. We saw a thin light of a torch in the room next to the conversation as it flashed briefly under that door. Did you see that? Someone else is listening in. How unspeakably rude, he said dryly. So either we can go and listen, so we go listen to the door at what's being entertained, or try to work out who's listening in on the people that is being entertained. Why? I have you on for 5 minutes. And you oh, it's been an hour. Oh, wow. Fucking... where the fuck did the time go? Excuse me, how the fuck has it been an hour? Time is an illusion. Time is an illusion. We're gonna go. Oh no, it's still delayed. Thought it was gonna finally fixed itself after all these years. Okay. I want to see about the eavesdropper. Who else is listening in? I crouched at the eavesdropper's closed door and strained to hear anything over the yelling in the better lit room. There was a voice speaking inside, but I couldn't even tell if they were speaking Japanese, English, or something else. Moti, can you hear them? Yes, teacher. Shall I translate and transcribe for you? Please do. She says the geology department's Tartan head is infuriated by today's CNN interview. The astronomy department is at odds with their conclusions now more than ever. What language is she speaking? I asked. Swahili. Now she's recommending stealing primary data to rerun simulations. Oh, you said investigate as well. Nice. Thank you, Moti. Keep listening or confront the eavesdropper. So she's talking to someone else. She's either on the phone or talking to someone else. So if we go in, there is likely more people. If we keep listening, we'll find out more. Wait, who the fuck am I listening to? I thought we were confronting the eavesdropper. We need to know more. Ah, yeah, I'm thinking we listen. We listen. Hopefully. Do you hear anything else, Moti? The eavesdropper is approaching her door. Oh, well, we're fucked either way, mate. Take a photo of the eavesdropper or run away. Hey, I'm so lost. Am I listening? Pretty sure we went to confront the eavesdropper instead of listening to the door. And now we were eavesdropping on the eavesdropper. And now the eavesdropper is coming to be and coming to us, who is eavesdropping on them. I'm so lost where we've come down in this line. How the fuck did we get here? Take a photo of the eavesdropper and run away. The bloody sirens are louder than normal. Pretty sure I shut the fucking window. It's not much of a breeze. Let me take a selfie. Alright, we'll take a photo. Before I could say a word, both doors flew open at once, and a furious scientist ran it right into the eavesdropper. Okay, hold on, wait, what? Okay, so we've got more. Moti, take photos of them. Yes, teacher. I angled Moti's face to the impromptu wrestle and widened my eyes, hoping I was improving the view of what Moti saw through my contact lenses. In the flash, the eavesdropper had struggled free and ran away. I was confident I had some excellent shots of the back of her head. Who are you? Snarled the man she left behind. I heard yelling. Was that you? Or my computer has been compiling data that I wanted to share. I assume yelling would be a better reason on why I've turned up, because it would be like they were yelling and it would be like, I heard noise. Are you good? But then we couldn't barely hear them. And we had to get Moti to listen in. My computer has been compiling data that I wanted to share. We have nothing to share. So if we were, what are we going to share? Other than the diary. And the diary is not a computer, it's a book. It makes no sense. But we just... Oh my... I never know anymore. Heard yelling. That would be logical if we could hear them without... There's so many sirens tonight. Yeah, the yelling would make sense if we could hear them out of the door without having to use the watch. But then I guess the dude inside the door doesn't know that he can't be heard? But they wanted to rerun data, so us having data, but then he's pissed. Ah, if he's pissed, is he going to want to be like, oh, I'll take your data now? I'm bad with choice games. I am thinking... yelling. Because that was my first instinct. Because that's what I would say. If it was me, I feel like I'd say yelling. Taking a risk. I feel like... Yeah, right. Okay, maybe not then. First instinct wasn't as good. The door remained open and people left inside were staring at me. If I flared, I'd look even more guilty than I already did. What just happened? Or I saw your eavesdropper. Well, we're saying I've got pictures, so I'm going to go with I saw your eavesdropper. Ah, Miki took a moment to recognise me and then relax, apparently unconcerned that I wasn't the only person lingering around in the hall at night. Did you learn anything? She asked. Miki let us in at once, evidently not seeing me or anyone with me as a threat. I showed her the series of photos Moti had taken as the eavesdropper fled. I saw her eyebrows lift in recognition before she put an innocent smile back on her face. Share Moti's data or ask about the eavesdropper. I want to know about this fucking eavesdropper. You gonna tell me who she was? Nope. Alright, fuck you then. As I read Moti's screen, our cog-bearing companions decided they had had enough and left. I'll find her myself, or I'll discuss her with the Matreon then. I can't remember the list of rules. I feel like the Matreon doesn't give a shit. And that's what Miki will tell me. If I say I'll discuss it with her. I've got pictures, but then again, I only know from the back of her. I'll discuss her with Metron. I'll find her myself. Go ahead and save us from our eavesdropper. I will, I said. I guess it's not that bad. Etienne drew me away and we went back to our room, mutually agreeing to decide our next move after we finally got some sleep. This eavesdropper must be no one. The next morning we headed to breakfast together and I was just starting to wake up when Etienne stiffened. Don't look now, but isn't that our eavesdropper? When I could look without being completely obvious, I saw that he was right. Our eavesdropper sat in the middle of a large international group only a few tables away. Loudly confront her. Hey, you, no, pull up a chair. Oh, she said around a mouthful of pancakes. You found me. Good, is it? Etienne hovered behind me in a delightfully menacing fashion. She swallowed and took a long drink of juice and smiled, speaking in perfect English. My name is Dr. Marigold, part of the sociology crew. I remained silent, waiting for more. We're studying the unique environment, she said, happily giving a general wave that encompassed a table full of companions and then the building as a whole. So you weren't eavesdropping last night, but just gathering data? She nodded and took another mouthful of pancakes. Does Matron know about this? Of course, we have a whole team over it. Oh, for God's sake, I knew it. Petrus. Super rich, super brilliant, super generous. He's offering sanctuary to a bunch of people, not just scientists, but also people who's lost their homes to volcanoes and flooding over on Bali. Etienne sighed and pulled up a chair. She gave him an openly appreciative look, and it was my turn to sigh. This enclosed environment is absolutely fascinating, Dr. Marigold went on. It's created by the brightest and wealthiest and most paranoid minds in Japan, but it's turning everyone a bit nuts. There are a few exceptions, of course, Miki being the most obvious. She's head of geology. What's so different about her? She's like Petrus, just choosing not to react to the danger. She says everything she knows freely, gives out passcodes willy-nilly, and is doing her best to be friends with everyone, and I bet she's gaining plenty of knowledge in return. I bet you're gaining plenty of knowledge with your studies as well. Yep, she admitted cheerfully. Knowledge. Here in my garage with my brand new Lamborghini. Do you know what I like more than my Lamborghini? Knowledge. Still the best fucking video. I was starting to get an idea of what the true currency of this place was. We stepped away from Dr. Marigold's table. What now? Etienne asked in a whisper. We find out what Dr. Marigold knows. Let's look for Miki and find out what she knows. Well, Miki trusts us. Miki was also at breakfast and sitting with a group that was self-consciously mixing disciplines in a show of unity. She agreed to chat with us in private. We made ourselves as comfortable as possible around the two-person table in the living quarters Etienne and I shared. Taking a deep breath, we began by recapping all the different groups we had met in the building, as she filled in any that we've missed. I ticked them off on my fingers. Your geologists say that Earth is fundamentally unchanged. The Etherites are obsessed with the idea that the ether is real, which I would dismiss as nonsense, except my father clearly thought the group had value, said Etienne. Agreed. And then the Cog people too. They seem to be obsessed with history and death, and the astronomers are presumably enjoying more relevance than they've had since the 60s. Have I missed anyone? The 100th Day group, said Etienne, who are also death-obsessed, but whose primary goal seems to be to eliminate brilliant scientists. I haven't heard of those Cog people. Are they historians, then? I'm not really sure, I admitted. I do know that they claim that the sun has gone out before and it was brought back through human intervention. But that's wonderful. Why isn't that on the news? I winced. No one remembers how the sun was brought back. Oh. Oh dear. Yes. No, that's still extremely helpful if true. Clearly the previous sun outage event happened in prehistoric times, therefore whatever saved the planet then was not some highly technological solution, but something else. Her face dropped. Oh no. Oh no, what? What if the solution isn't scientific at all? She said. What if one of the oldest religions ever was the one true religion and we lost it? What if there is a God and he's really dead? How the fuck did we get on to God being dead? I've watched that storyline. Don't want to do it again. I stared at her in speechless horror, thinking of the tourists snapping pictures inside the sun god's temple in Peru. She shook herself. No, that's nonsense. I'm sticking to my theory that it's all an elaborate practical joke. Goodness knows our world has plenty of stupid, selfish, megalomaniac billionaires. I blinked at the shift of gears. Are you saying politicians like Ronald Klump are to blame for the whole thing? Yes, she said. You see, the Earth hasn't changed, but the moon has. When the sun is out, the stars are altered too. It's simple. Is it? I said doubtfully. All you need is a number of giant contraptions that can unfold over the Earth, close enough to block out the sky. Imagine the false constellations were actually weaknesses in those devices that allowed light through. But they would have to be enormous. She shrugged dismissively. The human ego can accomplish anything, and that's an American election approaching, isn't there? Yes, but no, just no. Do you really think anyone could do it? I don't really agree with the woman. But also, I'm playing a game about the sun going out because it just magically disappears and dies for a good many hours. Like, many days. So no offense, anyone could have done this. Possibly. Do you really think anyone could have done that? She shrugged, unconcerned. I could see she wanted to return to her work, so I let her go. Before long, we were at lunch in the communal dining halls once more, and the two leaders of the COG group came and sat with us. The taller woman had oversized glasses and a fringe that looked like it had been measured with a ruler. Her companion was slight and balding. In the entire base, the non-scientists looked like scientists. The woman introduced herself as Vivian and her second-in-command as Justin. She sat down with her tray and began to eat while he remained standing. Edge and I turned to look at each other. I wondered what the COG group wanted. Invite them to sit or politely move. Fuck it, invite them. Etienne shook their hands one after the other, and now it was my turn. Vivian gave me a slight smile to match her cool hand. Justin, however, dropped my hand as if it had burned him and exclaimed, "You're worthy, you're the one." Justin, Vivian snapped, "Sit down and shut up." He obeyed her at once, but without taking his eyes off mine. After a few minutes of eating in awkward silence, Vivian lowered her voice and spoke with deadly urgency. "My associate has an unusual ability. Because of that ability, he is the single most important person in our entire society." "Okay," I said neutrally, trying to ignore the urge to flee. "Justin is a finder. His purpose is to find people who are different, special, worthy, if you like." I chose not to speak. From Etienne's audible gulp next to me, I imagine he was thinking the same thing I was. These people were clinically insane. "People like you," she said urgently. "Now that we've found you, there is hope." "What exactly do you want from me?" I asked, keeping a sharp eye on Justin in case he tried to touch me again. Vivian gave Justin a cutting glance and raised her hands to Etienne and I in a gesture of peace. "Can we do some tests on you. Perhaps a blood test, nothing invasive or harmful. What? Etienne said, suddenly looking puzzled and horrified in equal measure. That's it, we're leaving. He stopped when he turned to me. Wait, you're not actually considering this, are you? He whispered. Was I? I couldn't deny I was curious about the cog people. We knew almost nothing about them. But could I trust him enough to do this? Oh, I want to know what's going to happen. Do some blood tests on me, baby. Fuck it. Vivian led us to a medical lab and asked a nurse to draw some of my blood. It was weird, but simple enough. The scientists were buzzing around the lab. One of them smeared a drop of my blood on a glass slide and inserted it under a huge microscope. Enlarged images of my blood cells were suddenly splashed all over one of the walls of the lab. Vivian and a few other scientists gathered around them and started discussing amongst themselves. She shook her head and then stared at me again, this time with some sort of dye added to my blood smear on the slide. After about an hour of waiting for someone to tell us the results of the test, Vivian suddenly stopped in surprise, as she was walking past me as if it was only just realising I was still here. This can take all day, you don't have to wait here, she told me. Sighing, Etienne and I left the lab. Etienne and I went back to ground level and relaxed as well as we could, staring out of the windows at the grassy courtyard at the centre of number 5. As we talked through the implications of our day, Dolores called me. So, tell me, she said smoothly, have you found anything that's of use to General Resources, Inc.? Or WASCorp, as we like to call it. Tell her everything, or tell her as little as possible. Now, she got me kidnapped. We thought she was dead. Finally calls me back and is a bitch to me. Sends me to the sun. Now I'm here. I feel like if I don't tell her, she'll know. So I feel like telling her everything isn't going to make a difference. Unless the company comes for us. Nah, fuck it, tell her. I told her everything. Geology was a dead end, the entire centre was a hive of paranoia, and a fringe group has decided I was the key to something. It was my job to tell her everything after all. And what do I tell GRI? She asked. Fuck off, that's what you tell them. Setting my conscience aside for the greater good, I took on the formal tone of an official report and gave her the advice that was obviously most useful. Tell GRI to buy up as many other energy companies as possible. They're dropping like flies at the moment and GRI needs to ride the wave of panic. When the sun returns for good, their investments will be worth billions. Excellent! So the sun is definitely not going to go out for good. You're certain of that? Tell GRI that I am. If I'm wrong, I'll have greater issues than their anger to deal with. I heard her muttering a dictation to her own emoticon device. Investments will be worth billions. Dolores went on. Spread news of scientific discord and the rise of doomsday cults. Wait, what? You're not going to deliberately spread panic? I'm going to massively increase profits. Yes, that's our job, remember? Besides, it's all true. I looked at Moti and bit my lip. You should leave Japan, by the way. Your old friend Victor Santiago, the golden eye who probably killed your professor, has just boarded a flight to Tokyo. It seems he's figured out where you are. We're only just getting somewhere. I'm not leaving now. Sure. You do what you like. Just keep sending updates for GRI. We'll talk again later. She hung up. Victor Santiago is in Japan, told Etienne and filled him in on the rest. He nodded and glanced away for a minute. Do you think Victor knows we know about him? Good question. Come on, we need to warn people about Victor before he kills more scientists like the professor. My thoughts exactly. Lead the way. I stopped walking and studied the park's warden's face. He tried to hide it, but I could see the pain behind the smile. Oh, of course. How could I be so insensitive? I kept forgetting that Professor Sol was Etienne's father. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. That's a good way to go. Etienne shut his eyes aside. I don't know. The man who killed my dad is coming to us, and I don't know how I should feel about that. Not knowing what to say, I simply put a comforting hand on his shoulder. Park Warden shrugged his mood off and gave me a small smile. I'll be fine. Really. Come on. Matron will know what to do about Victor. Etienne nodded and fell in beside me. We told Matron everything we knew about Victor Santiago, and she rewarded us by increasing the access possibilities of our IDs. So what are we doing about Victor? Let me worry about that, she replied firmly. And that was it. I had the impression she had the situation under control. We met several acquaintances on our way back down to the dining hall and chatted with them ambically enough. None of our conversations uncovered anything new, however. The moment I entered the dining hall, I heard Vivian yelling my name. The COG group had deliberately chosen an overlarge table near the main entrance. Joining them, I asked about the results of the tests. Nothing conclusive yet, unfortunately, the scientist replied. We'll keep analysing the data, of course. Disappointed, I leaned back. I was so curious about it too. Any chance you'll be up for more tests? More data wouldn't work. More tests? Suddenly I had flashbacks Professor Soul subjected me to random but harmless experiments, often without even asking me. It started out with innocent requests like these too. Fuck it, let's do some more. The scientist responded with ominous fervor, but eventually settled down and laid out a proposal for a series of simple tests that they wanted to repeat, or hadn't done the first time. Nothing sounded too onerous, so I agreed to them all. Later that night, my phone rang as we were returning to our room. I saw that it was Sharon and my heart plummeted. Please be good news, I whispered and picked up the call. Chrissy's safe. Sharon yelled through the phone. What? I exclaimed, forgetting myself and speaking loud enough to be heard miles away. I lowered my voice. What happened? She's my daughter is what happened, Sharon said, oozing with pride. She escaped. And she's all right? I asked. Really? Yes. We're all shaken, but we're made of tough stuff. I laughed. I know, you're kind of invincible. I told her that I was worried about Etienne and how he would react if we crossed paths with the man who killed his father. Sharon told me to trust that he could handle it, being a park warden and all. I think people think that park wardens do quite a lot. I don't think they deal with murderers. And we started chatting about the 100-day cult. It was at this moment it suddenly occurred to me. Sharon and Etienne weren't just persons of interest in my job anymore. They were my friends. Oh, they're all gonna die. Oh, they're all gonna die. You and 51% of players have gained special interest of the COG people. Ooh. 6-3? Fucking hell. Etienne and I discussed our move over breakfast. I wanted to find out more from the astronomy department, but Etienne was concerned about Victor Santiago's presence in Tokyo. I would like to see Miss Enomoto again. Miss who? Oh, I mean Matron. First name, but are you on the first name? Oh ho ho. Okay, firstly, it's her last name, not her first. Alright, whatever you say. And secondly, grow up. I'm not the one with the high school crush. Ooh. I mean, same though. Etienne laughed. Say, if Matron has a thing for me, she would have offered her first name too, right? Sure. She's beautiful, isn't she? Like, really beautiful and strong and smart and kind. Amazing all round, really. Wait, you really are crushing on her? Maybe I am. Maybe say you've got a problem with authority. Bro, you've known her like 2 seconds. You have met her twice. What the fuck? Really? Why, are you jealous? Yes, because I thought we were gonna finally fuck. Nope, just worried she'll eat you alive. Or maybe I am. Do I be like, yes, I'm jealous. How could you do this to me? Or is it gonna be like, oh, I'm jealous because I also like her, and I'm gonna be like, oh no, disgusting. Oh, do I go? Oh, both are good answers. Both are good answers. Do I want to go the jealousy route, or do I want to go the she'll eat you alive route? My urge. My urge says maybe I am. For the sheer fun of it. But me then also being like, nope, couldn't give 5 shits. She's just gonna absolutely wreck your shit. Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh. Both are good. Where's my flipper coin? Did I just own a coin? Why do I not own coins? Why do I always have to go to Google to flip a coin? Alright. Heads for me by Am. Tails for no, she'll eat you alive. This is the only fair way that I can actually fully decide. Heads. See how this plays out. Etienne smiled as he finished his breakfast. I have to admit, I said to him, I figured you'd have a secret lover or something, considering the amount of texting you do before you sleep. So wait, I'm not getting around. Pierre's back. He seems surprised. Oh, you saw that? That's just Pierre. He's my best friend. Kinda. It's complicated. Yeah, it's complicated. Sensing you didn't wish to continue this discussion, I simply nodded and finished my breakfast. In any case, I'm going to attempt to convince Miss Enomoto to let me help her with security. What are you planning to do? I'll go poke around in astronomy, which is what I want to do. So straight up, I'm just going to say it. Let him have his woman. I went upstairs to the astronomy department, which had 3 entire floors devoted to its laboratories and sleeping quarters, not including the roof. As promised by Matreon, we now have access to more areas, teacher. Thank you, fucking little bitch. Smiling, I agree with Moti. It felt good to have the right access codes. I gave myself a thorough tour of the entire area, noting a few quirks among the general layout. I was immediately obvious when I crossed paths with the department head. She was surrounded by hangers-on in She was surrounded by people. So much easier. All of them flapping as they walked. The overall impression was a flock of earnest white birds. The leader of the V formation stopped when she saw me. Who are you and what are you doing here? I have information to trade. I watched as she mentally slotted me in the non-scientist but useful. Follow me, she said, and I did. One of the hangers-on addressed her as Dr. Simin, which was as close to an introduction as I was likely to get. Ooh, the laboratory is very white. I shall adjust my contrast settings. Thanks, Moti. I wished I could do the same. Every surface of the main astronomy lab was white. Benches, walls, floor. The sinks were fashioned from white ceramic. The computers were white, and surprising amount of equipment around the room was white rather than grey or metallic. How could I keep that clean? 3 enormous whiteboards were set up in a row along one side of the room, each with several magnetic strips at the top. One of the scientists in the flapping lab coat unrolled a series of transparencies? Yeah, sure. Each one taller and wider than a dining table. He hung 2 at the top of each whiteboard. The math is, of course, more complex, said Dr. Simmon. But you can see why we've chosen such a radical direction to investigate. I looked closer, observing that each pair of transparencies was a view of the night sky taken from the same location. The stars overlapped perfectly, although the sizes of the stars didn't seem to perfectly match their counterparts. Some stars on each were missing. I examined the whiteboards in silence, then turned to see everyone staring at me. They looked tense. And the radical direction is... Time fucking travel. No. You're pulling my leg. Brilliant. Straight up brilliant. I ain't leaving. I want to know everything. At first we expected to discover at least some kind of planet-wide disturbance. But the basement boffins insisted there's no evidence of any geological change whatsoever. It's true. And they have no reason to lie, since their emission makes them irrelevant. It appears that a large section of the universe is shifting in time, but we are not. My mind attempted to comprehend the implications, but they were well beyond me. Teacher, there is no evidence that time travelling is possible. Until now, she said in response to my moti. We have the data, now we just need the math to back up the theory, and everyone here is working on that. You sure it's time travel? There's no other explanation. She waved at the transparencies with the stars again. What could possibly explain this? Observing my awestruck expression, she continued, This is the greatest innovation of our time, of any time. History will remember this moment as the moment the past and the present had their first kiss. Say you're right, how do we make it stop? Stop? This is the greatest breakthrough of our time, why be so small-minded? I kept my temper and excused myself, finding a tiny room which had a sink, 2 chairs, and a TV playing a local news broadcast with English subtitles. I wasn't sure what I was expecting, but I wondered if the scientists in number 5 were losing their sanity. Or worse, what if they were right? I enjoyed the relative quiet as much as I enjoyed the glimpse of life outside the intrigues of number 5. Then I saw a face I recognised on the television. Akio, the young pop star from the plane ride. He was on stage singing his heart out with an original song, and the crowd of teenagers in front of him was screaming in ecstasy. Even through the tiny TV, the song was powerful. It was followed by an interview in Akio's palatal home? Yeah. I was beginning to think that his decision to skip school for the Hong Kong singing contest was an excellent career move, not that he needed the prize. Why did that skip? I didn't even get to read it. Oh, don't you start telling me you got a dodgy button. You're a pro controller. I have no idea what he said. Moti didn't say anything after that, but I heard the telltale signs of a dial tone. Moti, what are you doing? I'm calling Mr. Akio to congratulate him. He was very nice to us on the plane, and he's a very accomplished singer, don't you agree? No, I mean, yes, he's very accomplished. Moti, we shouldn't just call someone we just met. He's practically a stranger. But Mr. Akio gave us his phone number, therefore he is not a stranger. Am I mistaken? Click. Hello? Akio's voice came through the phone. I was planning to stop the call, but I was too late. I sighed before introducing myself. Oh, you're from the plane. Your Moti was very funny. You remember us? Of course. It's not every day a Moticon device tries to sing along with me. Chuckling, I congratulated him on his concert, and he asked me how my investigation was going. It's a mixed bag, I answered. I briefly wondered how much I should tell a 15-year-old teenager. I've learnt a lot, but it still doesn't fit together, and my friend's murderer is in Japan. What? He immediately grilled me for the details. Yeah, a lot has happened since we parted ways. The teenager was mature, well beyond his years, so I told him about Victor Santiago and that I was worried for the safety. Number 5. Why are you just telling random fucking strangers? Bring them here, he offered. What? Or send them here without your knowledge. That's probably safer. I'll send my head of security to meet your scientists in a public place and transport them to my house. Wait, back up. You want to hide scientists in your house from a dangerous murderer? I can take 50 or so people and feed them for about a month. Would that work? Even if your murderer manages to figure out I have scientists, my security system is exceptional. And who would look for them here? Do you really think your parents would let you just take in 50 bickering house gets for an intermediate period of time? They're right here next to me. They've always wanted me to become a research scientist and cure cancer. Well, this is the closest they're gonna get. Akio, you're one crazy pop star. So is it agreed then? I'll get back to you on that. Thanks. You're a lifesaver. Literally. After hanging up, I reunited with Etienne and told him about Akio's offer. A pop star's home usually has impeccable security. I think we should take it. Okay, it's decided then. But how do we choose the 50 scientists? You can choose everyone likes her. Matron should decide. She's in charge. I know that's the worst, but would be in her good books. I waited several hours until Matron was available to hear about the offer. Technically, the offer is an insult to our rigorous security measures. However, it's too good of an opportunity to waste. Honestly, I don't know if it's safer here or there. I appreciate that. I think Akio's residence would be very useful as an independent cell covering a range of specialties in case things go AWire here. I gave her Akio's number. I'll keep any arrangements confidential from you and your associate. Your connection to Victor Santiago may be more than a mere coincidence. Will you be leaving number 5? She asked. Not until I'm sure number 5 is safe. Alright, she said. What else can we do here to make it safer? I thought about Moti's question. We had investigated the facility from within for the past few hours. Perhaps it was time to examine it from the outside. We could look at the fake lobby and speak to the fake receptionist, who was also known as the Dragon. Talk to the lady. Matron granted the request for us to leave the facility, advising me not to waste my freedom watching TV. I took her warning as it was meant. Etienne seemed excited about leaving. The park warden would probably enjoy a breath of non-recycled air after all this time. We circled the building and walked into the main entrance, where the Dragon was trimming her bright red fingernails. She showed her teeth in a smile that looked like a threat. Would it be alright if we discussed security arrangements with you? I asked. She shrugged, but shifted back in her chair. We took it as an invitation and stepped behind a desk to examine her security feed and identify any points of weakness. She ignored us, filing her nails into bright red points. After a minute of studying the feeds, Etienne suddenly pointed out one of the feeds. There. I think there's a large blind spot to the left of this feed. Shall we go check it out? When we got to the blind spot, Etienne started voicing his security assessments out loud. No windows, sturdy brick walls, no drain holes. What do you think? I glanced around the area. Busy traffic, faces several shops and cafes. I think you're right. It's pretty secure here. I spotted something in the cafe across the road. I saw Dr. Carmen Wales staring blindly out the window and crying uncontrollably. Looking and nodding at each other, Etienne and I went over to her. As soon as we walked in the door, she stopped crying. He's here, she said. Who? I asked, pleased to see Etienne carefully scan the room and then position himself where he could keep an eye out on all exits. The man who tried to kill me, she said. He's here. He's going to kill us all. Her face crumpled. He saw me. He said, hello, and then he just walked away as if there was absolutely nothing I could do to stop him finding me a third time and killing me. Do you have a safe place? I don't know, she said. How did he find me? Through your phone. She jumped and stared at Moti. What do you mean? Someone has placed an electronic surveillance device on your mobile. Given that Victor Santiago has now coasted you onto two continents, it's likely the 100th Day has been tracking you. She pushed back her chair as if a phone was about to burst into flames. How do I make it stop? Following Moti's directions, I sorted through all her belongings. The bug on the phone was the only one, and it was easily destroyed. Don't go back into number 5. Leave here and go somewhere else in Tokyo, somewhere far away but still public. Call my friend Akio and tell him you need a place to stay. He'll make arrangements to pick you up and host you until Victor Santiago is out of Tokyo. She blew her nose and shook my hand, standing and dropping the bills on the table for her unfinished coffee. All right, I'll do that. Etienne and I walked with her to the closest taxi rank and watched until she was out of sight. We returned to number 5 and entered the fake lobby to let the dragon know Victor Santiago was spotted in the area. She wasn't seated at her desk. My heart thumped in my chest at the sight. Her dead body was sprawled behind it, already cooling. Her nail file was still clutched in her hand, the blade covered in blood from her struggle against the attacker. She had 3 bullet wounds in her chest and abdomen, all of which leaked blood into a sticky pool around her. It matched her fingernail polish exactly. Fuck. The alarm button will know, people will panic. Fuck it, call the matron. Told her everything. She didn't speak for a long time. At last she said, "That it's it then. We're done. Santiago usually kills people when they're alone. I think we should gather everyone in the dining hall for safety. Understood, will you join them? If you're not coming, there's a chance I can track him from here." Alright then. Etienne and I locked the foyer and went through back in the kitchen. Why did he kill the dragon? She wasn't a researcher. Self-defense, I said at once. She recognised him and attacked with the nail file, so he shot her. Look. Blood. That has to be Victor's. I nodded in agreement. She didn't die for nothing. Moti, please tell Matron that Santiago is wounded and bleeding. Yes, teacher. Shall we split up or stay together? Ah, fucking hell. He knows we're not researchers, so we're relatively safe. Nah. Stay together. I don't care. Stay together. The dining hall was packed with terrified nerds. Nice. But even with so many people, it was clear that some of the were searching the crowd for missing colleagues. There are so many people here, teacher. I was unable to spot Victor Santiago in this room. Shall we stay to protect them, teacher, or leave and search for the stragglers? Ah! Okay, there's so many people. Oh, sorry, Mike. If we stay and he's not in the room, he's going to kill the stragglers. If we go to look for the stragglers, I think because there's loads of people in the one room, he shouldn't start killing. Oh. My instinct. My instinct says search. I'm gonna go with it and hope nobody dies. No. Oh, but then... if I stay... No one else in that room should die, but if it depends on how many people are missing. Okay, I'm gonna go search. Hey, I called to the lone siders in the corridor. You need to head into the dining hall. I can't, I have to find my partner. She might be in the dining hall waiting for you. What's her name? Him. Jeremy Ton. He's an Atherite. I'll find him if he's out here and I'll send him to the dining hall. You should go there right now. Okay, he thanked me and left. Teacher, I do not think the astronomers are in the dining hall either. I'm able to see any of them. Oh, fuck. Oh, no, I just promised this guy. Let's look for this Jeremy guy I've just promised. I headed directly for the Atherites' living quarters, looking for the red-headed Jeremy Ton. I found him. He'd been shot in the face at point-blank range, and I saw the blood splatter on the wall before I saw his body. He was sprawled face down on the floor with one hand raised to his head as if a failed attempt to shield himself from Santiago's bullet. Etienne swore quietly. Called Major and told us Santiago had committed a second murder. I know. I saw the body a few minutes before you did, but I haven't found our killer yet. It's a big building. I'm going to help her. Etienne said, how about you? Oh, shout for Victor to show himself, or is this matron assailants? What's surveillance gonna do, though? But if Victor comes for me and tries to kill me... Would I die here? Can I die here? Can I die here? That's the question. Just want, oh, for God's sake, I just want to know, like, if it's... it doesn't say. Oh, alright. Trying to see if I could find... I know that it says, like, you can get away with so many deaths, because, like, some people get off with really good deaths. Like, you know, only a few, and some get everyone. But it doesn't say, like, that you die. Fuck, though. I feel like if I shout to him, he's gonna come and try and kill me, though, at least. Fuck it, let's do it. Face me like... Yeah, come and face me like a man, I'm not even armed. Teacher, I recommend against this course of action. Ignoring Moti, I carried on. Eventually, I found him sitting in an alcove that barely fit 2 small chairs in a round cafe table. He was wiping his fingers with a travel napkin. Hello, he said, indicating the chair opposite him. Did you want something? I want you to stop killing people, I said, ignoring the offer of the chair. Why are you doing all of this? What do you stand to gain? He wadded his napkin up and left it on the table, as if expecting a waiter to come along and tidy up after him. We are an arrogant species. We trample the earth, kill other species for food and sport, and then attempt to understand all the mysteries of the cosmos. Jeremy didn't hurt anyone, unlike you. He was arrogant, Santiago snarled. This whole place stinks of intellectual hubris. Hubris? Is that how you choose your victims? Their attitude rather than their knowledge? It varies. Confidence, though. Yes, I'm drawn to confidence. Are you a confident soul? I'm frustrated we know so little. He laughed happily, and then we both heard police sirens. They drew closer and closer. It was clear they were parked immediately outside the building. You better go and meet them. Otherwise, the booby traps around this not-so-secret hideaway might just give them the wrong idea. No thank you, I said evenly. I'd rather pass the time with you until they get here and arrest you. Oh, just one problem with that. If you stay here with me, I'm going to shoot you. Do your beliefs let you kill someone just for being in your way? I thought you were saving humanity from, being too smart or some such. His fingers tightened on the gun, and I found myself acutely aware of the fragility of my skin and organs. Moti vibrated on my wrist, and I didn't need to look to know Moti was terrified. I can certainly kill someone who's trying to stop me, he said, casually lifting the gun. So what's it gonna be? Teacher, please leave! Alright, I said, lifting my hands. I went to the lift at once, resolving to find the police as quickly as possible. There weren't any in the back of the building, but I quickly found them attempting to find a way into the foyer. I locked the door when I found the dead body. I told them as Moti translated my words into Japanese. She's behind the desk, and the man who killed her is inside the building, has already killed again. I saw him upstairs, but he let me go. The officer I spoke to immediately assigned 2 officers to make sure I didn't leave, 4 to break in and examine the dragon, and the rest to go inside. There's no way inside the foyer. The main entrance is through the kitchen at the back. The officer in charge raised an eyebrow, but 30 seconds in the foyer was sufficient to support my statement. I found myself leading the way into number 5 as one of the policemen called for backup. I explained the general layout and Santiago's last location as quickly and clearly as I could. Some of the police officers split off to try and find him, and the rest stayed with me. Take them to the dining hall where there's a shit ton of people. Or take them to the main fucking leader. Matron. I'm gonna risk it. Matron was livid when the police insisted she leave her office to join the rest in the building, but I could see Etienne was relieved. Santiago had already broken into her office once. We went to the dining hall where the sight of the several armed police officers instantly calmed the frightened residents. They sorted everyone into groups and checked every person against my photo of Victor Santiago before starting interrogations. The police let me sit with the Atherites. Did you find Jeremy? Wong asked desperately. I winced. They all understood instantly, and one wasn't the only person who immediately began to cry. I wished with increasing desperation that I sat anywhere else. It seemed I was constantly running late, including Professor Soul. This was the 3rd time the Atherites had been attacked by the 100-day cult, and I still didn't know why. Comfort him. Comfort him. He'll be alright, I said gently. Will it? Really? What logic led to that conclusion? It was a relief when the priest finally drew me aside to ask a series of increasingly aggressive questions about what I was doing in Tokyo. I spotted Etienne watching from across the room and directly shook my head, hoping he'd stay away from me. So the police honestly albeit faces. Now, I'm pretty sure we lied to the police before. Fuck it, answer honestly. It was no use. I was one of the half-dozen people chosen to enjoy further questioning at the station. We were advised to bring anything we'd need for an overnight stay. My one comfort was that there were plenty more police staying with residents of number 5, and I was sure that a large portion of number 5 residents had already quietly slipped away. I was put in a cell by myself, which at least meant I didn't have to deal with anyone else's fears. My own were quite enough. Teacher, can I do something to help? Oh, I do like a good play. Oh, let's do some breaking into police episodes. Ah, you're a waste of my time. Protected by password, don't worry, I'm sure we'll be fine. There was nothing to do, and even with my body aching from the horrors and fears of the day, the narrow bed was looking inviting. Asked Dolores of the situation. Oh, advisor of the situation. Sleep. I lay down on the cot and got as comfortable as possible, trying not to think about Victor Santiago stalking the corridors of number 5. Do you think Mr. Santiago will hurt more people overnight? There's nothing we can do right now, Moti. The police are looking after number 5 as well as possible. Mr. Santiago is using guerrilla? It's like guerrilla, but it's not really. Style techniques. Ideally suited to outnumber force. He is, but he's not a force. He's only one person. He's wounded and alone, and he can't stay hidden forever. Mr. Santiago is hampering important research. He is, Moti, and everyone he's killed has friends and a family that are grieving. I waited for Moti's reply, but it never came. I slept until the steel door of my cell crashed open. A female officer stood looking at me. Okay, she said with barely any accent. Come with me. She escorted me to a desk where I signed for my belongings. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us? Have you caught Santiago? Santiago escaped. Great, thanks. But the neighborhood is safe now. I spent 2 frustrating hours watching the meter on the taxi rise to ludicrous heights as we crawled through traffic back to Manico Street. I spotted 2 obvious plainclothes police in the cafe, complete with prop coffees. Well, at least the police were sticking around. The foyer of number 5 was thoroughly blocked off and wrapped in so much crime tape it looked like an oversized Christmas gift. I went around back and found the kitchen entrance guarded by a pair of young offerers. Are you the only police left here? They exchanged a glance, eventually aware of their colleagues in the cafe. Yes. Uh-huh. Great. Tell them there are dozens of secret entrances. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. They clearly didn't know whether to take me seriously or not, and ultimately let me inside. I headed straight to the dining hall, ignoring the sensation that I was being watched. Moti, if you were Santiago, where would you be right now? If I was Mr. Santiago, I would leave Tokyo for my own safety. However, Mr. Santiago is not as rational as I am. There are several brilliant scientists left in the building. I do not think Mr. Santiago can resist such an opportunity. I agree. Santiago hasn't escaped. He's hiding somewhere close by. Probably in the building. Please be careful, teacher. I couldn't help walking faster. The short distance to the dining hall felt like forever. I was short of breath, and I finally walked through the door and joined the 50-odd people remaining at number 5. People had strung up sheets and tablecloths in order to give them the illusion of privacy. No one dared leave the dining hall. Moti and I weren't the only ones who thought Santiago wasn't done with us yet. Etienne spotted me and came over at once to ask if I was alright. Sure, I said. I like to get myself incarcerated every time I visit a new continent. Congratulations, then, he said, but his face was grave. What's wrong? I mean, other than the immediately obvious. I don't want to leave this ruin undefended, he said, but it's been hours since I saw Matron. Or any of the other Atherites. Don't worry. I saw Santiago earlier and he didn't even try to hurt me. You stay here and I'll go. Alright, but promise me you won't do anything stupid if you do see him. Moti will keep an eye out, I said. We'll see him first and run away like a startled cat. He nodded in approval. Try the office first. Matron's door office was wide open. I'd never seen it like that. Teacher! Yes, Moti, I see the door. I stalked closer, slowly keeping my breath steady and quiet despite the thumping of my heartbeat. Do you hear that? I stood still. I hear what? Someone is crying. A few steps later I heard it too, the wrenching sobs of a person who had lost all hope. They keened like a wounded dog, and I knew the voice was female. And the sound was coming from the matron's office. Fuck it, just go inside. I went to the doorway and stood with my hands spread wide to show my lack of weapons. Matron sat on the floor, her back against the wall, her knees drawn up to her chin. Her arms were folded, resting on her knees, and she had a gun trained on me. All I could think was that I hadn't realised she was left-handed. Oh, it's you. Why are you here, I asked. Are you trying to be bait? She sniffled with a horrible slurping noise and set a gun on the floor. I'm here so no one bothers me, she said, speaking with such deliberation she sounded drunk. Please don't stay here. Go home, wherever your home is, or take a holiday. Anything. She turned her head into the corner of the room so I couldn't see her face. She was my sister. It took me far too long to realise she was talking about the dragon. I was ashamed to know I didn't remember her real name. Oh, I said. She was fierce. To my surprise, Matron laughed at that. The laugh turned into more sobbing. She regained control quickly. Yes, she was always fierce. Our father called her Little Dragon before she even learned to speak. Stay if you wish, but I won't leave you alone. This is my home now. Not going anywhere. Why not? Because I don't want to go. But it's not safe here. The world is ending, she spat. Who cares about safe? It's over. The world isn't ending. Teacher is going to fix the sun. She laughed again, a ragged sound. My sister is here. I can feel her presence. That is why I'm staying. I went inside and sat next to her, staring at Moti to avoid scaring her off with eye contact. Your sister was smart and she fought to protect you. With all due respect, staying here for her sake is nonsense. No, it isn't. Moti, shut the fuck up. Moti, you're not helping. Etienne is calling you. Put him through, please. I moved into the corridor, automatically glancing up and down in case Santiago was there. He's here. Santiago. He's where? In the dining hall? I don't know where exactly, just nearby, in the building, I imagine. Oh. Who's dead? Justin. The so-called finder from the group with the wooden cogs. He went to the bathroom alone and it's been hours. I look at the matron's computer. He wasn't in the cog room. It was easy enough to see his lonely blinking tracker in one of the outer corridors, a feature of the building that was virtually useless since all the entrances to the rooms faced the inner hall. Etienne, Matron and I all arrived at the same time and saw Justin at once. No one living lay as still as that. We swore in French, English and Japanese. I knelt to check for a post, knowing I wouldn't find one. Justin didn't look afraid and not even surprised. He looked determined. I took a second look at how he'd fallen and saw that he gathered blood from his own chest wound and then drew a line in the carpet. His hand lay outstretched with his bloody index finger at one end of the red line pointing at the outer wall. I called Etienne over here to have a look, and Matron came too. She gasped in shock, and for a moment I thought she would have left. We should have left her behind. It wasn't the sight of blood that shocked her. She understood Justin's message. Ha! She said, with a vengeful joy. I know how Santiago's been getting in and out. Through the window. On the 19th floor. Matron moved up to the corridor a short distance and pressed something in the wall. Oh, you're missing all the good shit. People have been dying. We went up against a murderer. This dude's dead and telling us how the dude got inside. Aw, heck. You're missing all the good stuff. All the gush. And also, it's just been silent. Laura's been on a walk for an hour and a half, and I think Richard's gone to bed. So, you know, it's just been me dramatically reading. Are we still in Canada? No, we're in Tokyo. We went into Tokyo, got kidnapped, into a building, then they let us help, and now we were helping them, helping scientists, trying to figure out what was going on, and then the guy who was killing the scientist has come. Rip got to go all of a sudden. No, don't you dare! We then have, then we're in the buildings, trying to help people, and then the guy comes in and we tried to get everyone in the same room, and then the police, there's loads of stuff, and now we're trying to figure out he's still in the building because people are going off to go to like, the bathroom and stuff and dying, basically. So it's been a lot of fun. A concrete plan, and now we're figuring out how Santiago got into the building on the 19th floor. A concrete panel slid open, revealing a narrow shaft with a steel ladder bolted on one side. A secret door. Matron slid the panel closed again. Right then, what do we do now that we know where Santiago is likely to come in? We shoot him in the face. That's it. Block it off. Set an ambush. None of us are fighters. Do we still have police? We do, but they're idiots. We have the 2 police outside and the 2 in the cafe. Everyone else in the building is a scientist. So the ambush would be me that has no weapons, a park warden, and the crying lady. 2 police officers that don't give a shit, and some people in a cafe. So. But if we block it off and he's already inside, he can't leave. And then he's stuck with us. Fuck. Fuck. What the fuck's the ambush gonna be? The ambush isn't gonna be shit. But my instinct screams to block it instead of an ambush. Because he's a trained killer and we're nothing. We're scientists and a dude that still don't even know what his job is. Like, I have no idea. We're gonna block it off. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk it all. Etienne stayed with Matron while I brought in a new group of police to examine and remove Justin's body. This time, they were the ones to give the bad news to Justin's friends. I was equal parts guilty and glad. Once I had everyone's attention, I explained what we hoped to do. There was a flurry of volunteering with people shouting at offers of labour and equipment. I was beginning to think getting taken to the police station had been a lucky break. At least it had gotten me out of number 5 for a while. I took my pack of volunteers to fetch various tools, and together we took apart what had once been a garden shed on the roof. It did no harm since there was nothing inside except a few plastic pots and some spilled fertilizer. Etienne was suitably impressed with the volunteers' enthusiasm, and the secret entrance was thoroughly blocked within an hour. One of the sociologists said, "Why stop here? There were dozens of entrances in the basement, but only 4 ways to get down there. Let's block them all off." All the geologists are gone, so it won't get in anyone's way. I like to see inside a lift shaft. Oh, great. Thanks, Moti. Let's do it. Let's use the basement. Oh, the basement to evacuate. Shit. Because the foyer's fake. The back's guarded by police, which will probably be dead within the hour. Oh, fuck. The basement is a good idea to evacuate, but that does not mean that Santiago doesn't know about the basement entrances. So if we try to evacuate, and he's there, dead. But he only kills when they're alone. So a big group of us going down. Basement. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. I'm getting used to you. Basement. He smiled at me. Don't you know the only people left are those with nowhere else to go? Alright, let's block it. Oh, it doesn't make a difference. Alright. New Mike, new Mike. There she is. Saturday was a bit pain because she's very quiet. She has a lot of filters. And I do at the start of today, I was more towards this side, which is a little bit quieter than this side. So she's, I had to look up Streamlabs, like people's views on what's the best to roughly do. Give her a bit of a gain, because she doesn't even reach the middle of the yellow. She is just solid green. For most. She's quite a quiet one. She's got, yeah, noise cancellation, noise gate, compressor, limiter, and then this one I had to download. And you're meant to do it to your voice, but they give you like a bass to go on that's roughly solid for most people. And yeah, I've turned all the games down as low as I can, that you can still hear it, but you can still hear me. So I'm just getting used to, you know, being nice and close. But yeah, she's good. She does come with a pop filter, but I decided against it, because otherwise when I did it, it's like here, and you're like... But for 30, whole thing, mic itself, that was sensual. Pay me money. That's my new job. Welcome to ASMR Twitch. My ovaries just exploded. Oh no, your ovaries. It's fine. No one wants children anyway. Oh. But yeah, she's a good little thing, and do you know what's really nice? Not having to sit there and go, oh shit, I forgot to charge my mic, because all I have to do is swing her around, and she's ready to go. So I do really like her. She's the best. Well, I say the best 30 quid. Technically, it was £9 on a voucher, £9 something from John, and then the rest on me. So it's like a 12 quid. A 12 quid buy. For something that now can last as many hours as I want it to. It's super good. It's so nice. And especially when you, like, look. Like, whole complete different toys ring. My Pringles! Yeah. The difference between what I had and what I now have, it's quite different. So I have no use for her, but this one does plug into like phones and stuff. So she comes handy if I ever need her for a prop or something. And then yeah. Many years, good, like maybe 3 years old. 3 or so years old. I got her when I moved, not long after I moved here, so she's got to be 3 to 4 years old. She currently is unviable, so might be good fit in real life streams and videos. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I always like the idea of having it that I can take it and do extra, or if I need a second mic that isn't a headset, I do have her. So she lives, but for now this is my girl. We have Cheryl for the computer. We need a good name for the mic to go with Cheryl. That's what we need. What, sir? What, sir? Sir. Oh, I love you, Waz. Sir, thank you. You're a professional streamer now. Yeah, when my webcam doesn't play up, I'm there. It would be the not the graphics card, the capture card next, so I don't have a 550 delay on a webcam and a 850 delay on the mic, just so it matches up with my voice and my face to then match the console. But once again, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're so kind. You're so kind. So kind. We have to now get back to. It mostly matches. Yeah, it's not 100%. Like, I hate it. Like, I sit there before each stream. Like, even my streamy on Stardew, where my webcam doesn't have to be delayed. It's got like a smidge delay. I have to delay the mic by 100 to get it to look like it matches. And then I sat here before this stream and I sit there and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in recordings and just get it to match. And I was like, you know what, 800. Considering before with the little mic, I used to just have to do 550, 550. It just had to match whatever the webcam was. And with this one, because I'm guessing it's because it's USB, I have to do it so much. And I'm like, you sit there and you think, okay, it's close enough. Like, it will do. It would be fine. I can't go too far off being, you know, not matching. And I was just like, because I was like, oh yeah, it'll match at like 7:50, and I didn't. I was like, no, because as soon as I say 1, 2, 3, it's fine. Then 4 and 5, no, sorry, that's gone. That's out. So it's a learning curve. You know, I don't have to stream again till Saturday and Sunday, so it'll be a learning curve then. You get used to it super quick. It's barely noticeable. That's what I mean. Like, yeah, for me, I think when I changed it, I was like, okay, it looks better, so I'll go with it, because I guess depending on how big you watch as well. But obviously as time goes, I'll know exactly what to set things as. And hopefully one day I won't need a delay at all, except for the 100. But I when I looked back at Stardew, I think it was mainly decent. Like, it wasn't too noticeable type of thing. So I am learning for a cute little thing. Back to the murder that I probably should do. I'm trying to get to the end of this arc. I didn't realise it's already been 2 hours and 12 minutes. I did start early. As we moved down to the ground floor, he paused to put a spiral notebook from his pocket and wrote something in it. Moti vibrated to get my attention without speaking aloud. Is he studying us? So it would seem, Moti, a lot of people here are very interested in you. Will you sell me to someone else one day? No, Moti, God forbid. Certainly not. You're priceless. Thank you, teacher. It's the truth. Now, shall we go investigate some lift shafts? Yes, please. We worked long and hard, and I barely had the breath to answer Moti's incessant, questions. But it felt good to use my body to solve a problem, especially working as part of a team. I still think Moti has some less than wholesome motivations. It was a bit earlier where he was talking about Santiago murdering. It was like, is he not why is he doing it? Stuff like that. And there was a point where my character responds with, well, there's people that now their family and friends are grieving. And it was like, and then Moti didn't reply. And I was like, okay. Alright. And that made me, question a lot of things. A lot. Anyway, even the sociologist was soon chatting happily with Moti, although he paused often to make more notes. Finally, we were done. We were thoroughly checked all the underground floors for stragglers before sealing them off the last access point permanently. We returned to the dining hall with hearty appetites, only to realise that all the cooks were long gone. Somehow I found myself in the kitchen trying to figure out what to cook for 50 people. Toast. So much toast. Or, pancakes. I mean, the sociologist lady, was it sociology? Dr. Carmen Wales? Oh no, she was crying. She's gone. She was the one I knew who liked pancakes. But she's gone because she nearly got murdered for a 3rd time. And we had to send her in a taxi and be like, go somewhere safe. Call my friend, Dr. Carmen. Carmen. What is with you guys and hearing sexual things when now I have this mic? Richard was thinking I kept saying cock when I was saying cog. Dirty people. Dirty. Dirty. What would you pick, toast or pancakes, to cook for 50 people? What would be your... If you had to cook them, what would you pick? Oh, pancakes for sure. Alright. Pancakes it is. After serving about 20 people and realising I wasn't even half done. If the kitchen has a big enough griddle. I fucking don't even know what this kitchen looks like. I quietly vowed never to feed a large crowd again. When the meal was finally over, I was too exhausted to eat. I had a feeling I'd better leave the kitchen before I ended up taking on the dishes. Like all geniuses, the residents of Number 5 were useless without other people to take care of them on a daily basis. I loaded a plate for myself on the basis that I probably should eat and headed back out into the dining hall. Before I could crawl back under my table, the police burst in. Everyone fell silent, knowing what they were going to say before they said it. We're sorry to inform you that another resident of Number 5 has been murdered. They questioned us all again, showing us a photo of a dead woman's face. I was fairly sure she was one of the astronomers, and said so. The rest of the astronomers were long gone, but a few other confirmed my guess. She'd been found in a lonely corridor not far from the kitchen. I shivered at the thought, wonder if she died while I cooked and cursed and sweated just a few rooms away. Suddenly I remember talking to Etienne about how secrecy was impossible when Number 5 had been designed and built by humans. The person who designed this building, the architect, definitely hadn't been sealed inside with us. So where were they? Had Santiago found them first? Nah, fuck it, let the police do my work. Matron knew the name of the architect off the top of her head and told me he'd have records of everyone involved in the construction of Number 5. I passed the information on to the police along with my theory that Santiago would gain access to the information about the hidden entrances. The officer wrote down the details and assured me she'd follow it up on immediately. Most of the police left after that, leaving an armed escort for the rest of us. Teacher, why did the police officer lie to you? Oh, what do you mean, Moti? She said she would speak to the architect, but she deleted his details. Oof! Ah. So she either thinks this idea is foolish, or the 100th Day group has gotten to her. What do we do? We talk to Etienne, or we find the architect ourselves. Because I guess if she's deleted the details, they're not going to go after the architect. But Etienne is our best bro right now, even if he is trying to fuck the main woman. For no other reason than she is the main woman. But I feel like Etienne would be on our side. Maybe. Etienne's a homie. He is a homie. He's a good homie. There was a whole jealousy bit earlier when he was talking about having a bit of a crush. He was like, "Are you jealous?" And it was either, you could either pick "Maybe I am," or you could pick, "No, but she'll eat you alive." And I flipped a coin and went for "Maybe I am." And it didn't even give me anything good. It was just, "Oh yeah, well I thought you had a lover," and I'm like, I thought I was gonna get somewhere. I thought I was gonna get past homie base, but no. You guys saved that person's life together. We have got very close. We are bros. We are bros. No one bed sharing, but we are bros. I went to Etienne and told him what Moti had seen. He gave me a weary smile. Officers of the law are rarely grateful for civilian advice. So what do we do? I asked. You should go. I believe it's safer out there than in here, so I don't want to leave these people alone. But I'd like it if you were elsewhere, and it could make all the difference. Sad about that hotel room, honestly. And in here we got given a new room and it had 2 fucking beds. Pissed. Fucking pissed. Okay, but I'm coming right back. Vivian caught me at the door just before I left, her cog pendant bouncing on her chest. All the results of the test are back, but it's strange. They didn't show anything. Nothing at all. It was as if your resonance is completely ordinary. I did my best not to show my disappointment and made her feel even worse. Thank you for telling me. Oh yeah, we did a load of tests because some dude that got killed, well, that's now dead, told me I was special. Why is she now suddenly MS? I'm pretty sure she wasn't MS a minute ago. Scammed. Enomoto produced a push bike for me saying that it would be faster than a taxi considering the architect's office was only 10 blocks away. I observed her wisdom as I rode easily past a nightmarish caterpillar of vehicles blowing horns. They crawled forward a few paces and then stopped. The office of Nagaku and Sons was a shining, capacious building. It was different from Number 5 as night and day. I locked up the bike and caught a fast elevator to the 33rd floor. Mr. Nagaku, the middle son of 3, had a mustachioed secretary who lifted his head just as I realised I needed an interview. Blumfeld, 10 a.m., he said. Yes. The black door to his office swung open. An invitation, I walk in. The man behind the desk had dark hair parted with precision, and his jet black desk was completely empty other than a computer that slid into an indentation as I watched. Observe him carefully or question him directly. He thinks I'm someone else. If I question him directly, is he gonna be a bitch? Because he thinks I'm here for an interview, and I'm gonna come in and be like, what do you know about this architectural sound of this building, and how do people know that people can get in, and why are you letting a murderer? Or I can stare at him and he can ask me stupid questions I know nothing about. Oh, double fuck. Phobos. I think way too into this. Tell him you're with Architects Digest magazine. What one does that fall under? Questioning him or observing him? Just, hi, yeah, I'm here to write an interview about why you're so great. Please, oh god, give me all of them. Probably questioning him. Yeah, let's go with question. He gave me a measured smile. He sat in front of an enormous window that haloed light around him. On his left and right, the walls were covered by floor-to-ceiling bookshelves filled with neatly labelled folders. Except one was upside down. I couldn't read the Japanese characters, but they were formatted differently to the rest. As my eye caught it, I heard him suddenly drum his fingers against that enormous empty desk. I stepped to the side so his face wasn't obscured by the sun at his back. Tears caught the light and sparkled on his cheeks. He looked up at me like a man at prayer. Who are you? A friend or the enemy of a murderer? The fuck do you do here? At what point do you go in and go, I am the enemy of a murderer? That sounds like some really bad fucking action movie. That's some anime shit. Yeah, like, it's literally like coming in being like, I'm the enemy of a murderer, and there's fucking music kicks in. Should we pick? I'm gonna pick it. Fuck it. His tears dried at once and he stilled his hands, waiting for me to go on. The murderer Victor Santiago was here, I said, and that folder holds the full and original details of every secret to 5... the fucking the street, doesn't it? No. He took some pages. Which pages? He looked at them all, but he only took the pages pertaining to the floors below ground. That's it. The ways in and out, including the main entrance, the storage rooms, and the panic rooms. What main entrance? There's a tunnel under the street, big enough for a truck to drive through. It can only be accessed from the garage underneath number 4. What's at number 4? More scientists? No, nothing. Just apartments and a factory shop front. Oh, fucking hell. What factory? I don't remember the name. Sparky something. Mr. Sparky, Sparks Are Us. They sell fireworks. No. Do you have copies of the basement blueprints? Only on my computer. Why? Oh, great. Because Victor Santiago's made a bomb and it's probably already there. Great. His face turned grey and he pushed a button on his desk. His computer rose with agonizing slowness, but at last he'd switched it on and was scrolling through file after file of building schematics. I have uploaded the plans, teacher. Call Miss Inamoto and tell her everything, I said, and ran past the security to the lift. The lift took an eternity. I fished out the keys to the bike clock so I didn't waste precious seconds reaching into my pocket. Then I called Etienne. His phone line was busy. Etienne, please tell me it's not too late. There's a bomb in the basement. Get everybody out now. I ran from the place and fumbled uselessly with the bike lock, cursing my trembling hands. I pedalled until my legs burned and kept pedaling faster and faster, feeling hysteria bubble in my throat as I gasped for breath. Car horns beeped and people yelled at me in Japanese, but I lowered my head and focused on my goal. When I saw number 5 still standing still intact, I took a shuddering breath and promptly crashed into someone's shopping cart. Sorry, I gasped, abandoning the dented bike and running on foot for the last block. Go to the main entrance under the fireworks store. Go to the panic room built into a supporting column. Shit. So the main entrance would then take us all the way in. But the panic room... Can we get to the panic room? Wait, did they say that was already in the basement and we've blocked off the basement? Can we even get to the panic room if it is in the basement? Was it in the basement? It said the lower levels. Was it the basement? Because if we go into the panic room and he's there with the bomb already placed, it's not really going to make much of a difference. But then if we go to the main entrance under the store... Is he then going to be there already trying to do stuff? I'd like more information about what either of these could lead to. That would be nice. Go to the main entrance. They said it's large enough to drive a truck through. So it's either going to be Santiago in a truck, or we're going to end up running all the way through this main entrance to get just into the building. But if the panic room isn't in the basement and is able to get into, are we just going to find a bomb? Go to the main entrance under the fireworks store. Go into the panic room built into a supporting column. Fuck. Putting the bomb under the fireworks store would make a much bigger boom. That's true. Yes, no, that is true. So go to the main entrance under the fireworks store. See if he's there. I ran to number 4 and chased a car through the security barrier into the underground garage. Which way, Moti? I gasped. There's a sliding panel in the wall behind the private car wash. I spotted the faded sign with a picture of soap-covered sedan and ran inside the wash zone, pounding it at the back of the wall until something gave under my fist and the wall slid aside. I moved to slide into the gap as soon as it was big enough for a human, but the floor jutted beneath me. For a horrible moment I thought I was too late. The bomb had exploded. Then the floor sloped gently to meet a concrete ramp beyond the sliding wall, and I remembered it was designed for cars. I took a breath that hurt like a stab to the chest, then ran into the flickering dark. The tunnel was lined on either side with bug-filled fluorescent lights. Recent car tracks marked the dusty floor. I was right. There really was a bomb. I stopped just before I ran headlong into another concrete barrier. I followed Santiago's footprints to the panel, opened it and blinked at the glare of better maintained lights. I was underneath number 5. I smelled dirt, no fertilizer, and the rotten edge stink of gunpowder. Man, I can't imagine how stressful this would be. Honestly. I just be like, bye, see you later. Gotta go. Nap time. No thank you. The bomb was closed. I couldn't do this. Imagine just going to find out why the sun disappeared and now there's a dude murdering everyone and they put a bomb. I walked towards it, following the stink. A car door slammed inside the building. I smelled dirt. No, it's fertilizer. I think what that meant to say was... No, it's fertilizer. Honestly, some of the lines in this aren't 100%. Santiago was still there. Santiago was leaving. Now, see, we did the yell for him earlier. And he just offered me a chair and we sat and talked. And then he was like, well, either you stay and I kill you or you leave. And I was like, alright, I'ma head out. Fertilizer has nitrogen and large amounts of it can be used to make explosives. Ah. I did not know that. So I can either go towards the sound of the door or I can try and bring him to me. I feel like we've already done the yell. I feel like if we go towards where the sound was, we'll find the bomb. Because Santiago has already said, like, even though he doesn't want me dead, he will not hesitate to kill me if I'm in his way. Maybe don't alert the psycho killer of your presence. We've already done that, though. He's very nice. Even though he threatens to kill me, he does it in a nice way of, you either leave or you die. You got a choice, mate. He's pretty nice. We'll go towards the sound. But he's not bad. He's not the worst. We'll go left. Right, we're going left. The car engine switched on and I heard the sound of him driving away. Oh no. Chase him or get to the dining hall and get people out. I feel like we need to like get people out. But then, because we're not even heading towards the bomb now, we are now either going for Santiago in a car, we're on foot, or we're going to go and try and get out through the entrance, get to the dining hall and be like, come on, leave. And I feel like that might be the better idea. Maybe? Agreed. What, to get the people out? We'll get the people out. I'm pretty sure that's the better idea. I ran down the tunnel and climbed back up through the open manhole. Number 5 stood impervious as if it didn't have a basement packed with explosives. I ran and dodged people heading for the narrow laneway between number 5 and another concrete high-rise. Save the scientists! Bomb, I screamed, hoping there were enough English speakers to start the crowds moving. Number 5 is about to explode. Bomb, run. I didn't stop screaming as I run past the abandoned kitchen and into the dining hall. Bomb, I gasped. Get out, get out, get out now. Now. The people closest to me stared as if I'd gone mad. Etienne was asleep on the floor with his head under his backpack. I kicked him and his eyes snapped open. Bomb, almost weeping with frustration and exhaustion. I was streaming with sweat and shivering at the touch of the air conditioner. Here, now, basement, everybody out. Etienne's eyes cleared and he immediately snapped out orders in English and French. A dozen people grabbed their bags and ran. The rest looked at Etienne and I and understood all they needed to know. Then everyone was running and screaming. Etienne grabbed my arm and virtually threw me after the others. I hesitated at the door. Etienne checked under tables and shouted at the police, refusing to move. Professor Sol's diary was in my hand and I didn't know how it got there. I tucked it inside my jacket and tried to run after the others, but my legs were quivering and I barely summoned a jog. People passed me, shouting their panic in a dozen languages. Teacher, hurry! Trying, you little fucking bitch! I grunted in annoyance, but I found enough strength to move a little faster. Etienne yelled my name and grabbed my arm, half dragging me out past the kitchen into the bright light of morning. I blinked helplessly, too frightened and relieved, and tired and shaky to think about what to do next. Etienne dragged me away from the building. People were running everywhere. The cars in the street were abandoned, sitting empty as if the drivers had all been raptured. So this is what the end of the world looked like. I chuckled at the thought and Etienne yelled at me in French, shaking my arm. He wanted me to run. I tried. I lifted my feet. The world exploded and we were ripped apart. I curled myself around Moti instinctively, even as I was thrown through the window of the cafe that faced number 5. I woke up blinking and saw. The air was dusty, and the only sound was the pitiless shriek of my own damaged ears. I smelled coffee and burning plastic. Moti vibrated on my wrist. I looked at the screen. What was the problem now? Teacher, teacher, wake up. Don't switch off. Oh, he's crying. The sounds of the world faded in like a bad radio signal. Screaming, car alarms, phones. My phone. I looked at the ID, and after a moment I remembered how to read. Dolores. Right, we need to reassure Moti, I don't care. It's alright, Moti, I'm fine. Tried to stand and decided to work on that later. I just have to take this phone call. Press the answer button and put the phone to my ear. Dolores. Oh, he's definitely got a concussion. He's probably gonna die. Obviously, I have a new assignment for you. A photographer by the name of Henrietta. She has the world's clearest pictures of the night sky before, during, and after the sun outage event. She's in Australia. I said, since it was probably the right time for me to say something. There's no need for you to stay in Japan out of some misguided protective instinct. Santiago just brought a plane ticket back to Peru. I realised with the bit of my tongue and the explosion, my mouth was full of blood. I gagged and spat, making a scarlet stain on the underside of a cafe table. Someone moaned nearby, and I remembered the sensation of Etienne's hand being ripped away from my arm. Oh, no. Through the dust and smoke, I saw the jacket and think, "Are you there?" Dolores said. "You've been listening to a word I said." "Great, thanks." I ended the call. Another moan. Someone was inside the cafe, but I couldn't see them. Outside, sirens wailed. Call Etienne's mobile or find the injured person. I assume the injured person is going to be Etienne. Find the person, exactly. I managed to get to my feet by pulling on the tumbled furniture around me. "Hello?" I said. "Where are you?" "I'm coming," said the voice. I crouched to look beneath a large pile of concrete and glass rubble where the side of the front window used to be. There was a hand. Touched the fingers and they curled around mine. "No! Don't kill him!" "Mr. Etienne, you're alright. Don't kill him." Moti, no, don't kill him. No. No. "I'm here. Where does it hurt? Please just get me out. It may not be safe to move you." "I don't give a fuck. Don't kill him." Etienne uttered some highly uncomplimentary things about computers in general and Moti in particular. "I will get you out, but where does it hurt?" "Legs. I'm pinned and it doesn't feel good." "I'm getting help. Don't move." Was that a joke? Yes, obviously. What a joke? I was sounding a little steadier this time and looking out the shattered window. "Nothing. Don't mind me. They're going to kill him." The street was covered in dust and chunks of concrete, but it was oddly quiet. There was no traffic. Not anymore. Most of the mechanic cars had been hauled away to make room for emergency vehicles, and hospital buses were loading up dozens of wounded at a time. "Help, there's a man trapped in here. Somebody help." People came running and they sent me outside while they worked on how to extract him without killing him. But God, he fucking dies. This game ain't getting touched again. Moti offered to translate, but I decided it'd be better off not knowing what they were saying. And then they dug Etienne out, bloody and bruised and smiling through the obvious pain. They put him straight into an ambulance and 4 medical people worked on him at once, bandaging him and giving him blood and oxygen and stitches. I hurried to the open back doors, calling reassurance to my friend. One of the doctors asked if I was his next of kin. Yes, or I'm the closest thing he's got. I feel like if I say I'm the closest thing he's got, they'll be like, "But you're not actually a next of kin." Whereas if I say, "Yes, don't lie to the doctors, that's rude." True, but are they definitely going to let me in? What if they don't let me in and he dies? Well, what if he dies? What if my not boyfriend bro person dies? What do I do then? So do you think I should go for I'm the closest thing he's got? Everyone dies, Beth. No, that's not true. Science says otherwise, and so does TV, because it's framed forever. This isn't Grey's Anatomy. So do we think Tony, no, don't remind me. He's died like 8 times now. Every What If episode is like, how can we kill Tony Stark? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, can you not? Can I have a little shred of happiness since Endgame? Please? Pretty please? So are we saying I'm the closest thing he's got is our answer to get us into the, no happiness for you. Fine, get in. Hey! When we have time, we'll take care of your arm. I looked at my arms, and the first thing I saw was a large piece of glass bodied in my left shoulder. I don't think you not notice the glass in your shoulder. Ha! I said and fainted. Dead. Not a fan of glass. I'm not even. It's not like wounds. It's not noticing. Like for me, it's when you. I would be the same. I would be like, I didn't notice, and then someone would be like, oh, you're fucking massively bleeding. I'd be like, oh. And then all the sheer panic would kick in. I wouldn't maybe faint. I probably wouldn't. I don't know if I would faint. I've had a twig through my head and didn't faint. I've gone down the stairs. You know, there's many things. But like, I guess yeah, the adrenaline fucks you. Like yeah, you wouldn't really think. I'd just be like it's the notice of like suddenly there's this and you feel it. You know. Can't feel them fix you up when you're very true. Yeah, I'd rather be out. But yeah, I think it's just the knowledge of as soon as you notice something or like someone says it, you're like, oh, you can picture it in your fucking, you can picture it. No, thank you. No. You're in decent shape, all things considered. You don't have to come in the hospital if you don't want to, but your friend will need to stay for quite a while. How long, I asked. She shrugged. He's stable now, but maybe he won't go in dancing anytime this week, maybe this month, maybe more. I gave her his name and as much medical data as I knew about him, including his father's recent death. We arrived at the hospital and Etienne was wheeled inside. I'd like to give you a wheelchair, my doctor said, but there aren't any right now. Can you walk? I nodded. I followed Etienne all the way to surgery, and then I wasn't allowed any further. I sat on a plastic chair and waited 3 hours until he came out, looking as still as death. There still weren't enough room, so he was kept on a wheeled bed, and I was asked to make sure he drank only water when he woke up. I talked to him and held his hand, hoping he could hear me. Eventually, he mumbled something in French and opened his eyes. Hi, I said. It's like really say, hi. Hi. He looked around the hallway where we were stashed until there was a place elsewhere. Hospital? Yep. I offered him some water and he sipped it through a straw so he didn't need to sit up. The frenetic crowding gradually eased and a nurse came to take us to a room where Etienne would be staying. Move down in the string. It's a double. I hope that's alright. We passed flocks of media personnel, police, along with large numbers of patients with less urgent wills still waiting to be treated. I'm just picturing James May saying, hello. Oh, fucking James May. Oh, fucking... Oh, they're all their shit. Oh, icons. I moved to hide Etienne from the view of the cameras, keeping my own face averted. I didn't want Santiago to know that we survived. The nurse fussed over Etienne and helped him move into his permanent bed. Moments after she left, I heard loud laughter from the corridor. I knew that laugh. I raced out into the corridor and Sharon threw herself at me with a hug that almost knocked us both over. Oh, I should admit, Sharon also found her daughter. She called us while everything was going on in the murder spree, and her daughter had been found. You crazy Australian, how did you find me? Ha, she said. Who's the big shot investigator now? Fine, I laughed. Keep your secrets. See, Sharon didn't, and apparently her daughter got herself out pretty much. By herself. I bent to pick up my things which had fallen on the floor in onslaught. Sharon knelt to help me, but I was still packing things away when I realised she was simply kneeling, staring at Professor Sol's wooden cog. Be careful with that, and what is it? What's wrong? Why is she staring at it? Does she know? She knows something. She knows. She knows. She knows. I know she knows. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I've broken it. Oh. Oh, she doesn't know. She doesn't know shit. Yikes. How? I moved to take them from Ginny, but she abruptly pulled away. Wait, didn't. I think it's a trick box. See? Oh, she knows. Sitting down next to her, I saw exactly what she meant. The two pieces of the cod fit back together perfectly, with pressure points stopping them from falling apart. She fiddled and pulled it apart again, this time tipping out the reflective metal hitting with inside. Ooh, it's the key! I exclaimed, reaching out and taking it from her. What's it to? She asked, her eyes bright with excitement. I have no idea. Why would the professor hide a key inside a cog? Teacher, a key this size would most likely fit a small object, not a door. The diary! I reopened the bag, pulled out Sol's diary, sliding the key into the diary. The diary! It opened. The fucking diary! I'm getting well more into the game now. I whooped and punched my fist in the air, prompting scouts from passing doctors. This is good, Sharihouse. It's all coming together now. It's all part of the plan. It's all coming together now. Oh, ow. This is very good. A friend of mine died for this. Let's just stick with this very good. I don't want to think. It's all coming up, Millhouse. Still one of my favourite things with the fucking flood pans. I don't know why. It's just every time. It's like, see, it's all coming up, Millhouse. It's just, I don't know. It just stuck on me for life. With a huge grin on my face, I flipped open the diary and started to read. Only to throw it down in disgust. I want to kill myself. The paranoid old coot wrote it all down in code. I do codes. I've been decoding the Gravity Falls journal. One of them took me 4.5 hours. I can do codes. Give me the codes. I haven't gone crazy doing it. Give it. Hand it over. I haven't touched the book in days because I stopped doing some of the codes and then read all the bits that didn't have codes, and then it was like, here's a code again, and I was like, I don't know if I can look at the codes because I know how to do the codes without having to look at the Google. I don't have to look at Google and the coding sheets that they have on the website, because for some of them, I still remember what all the letters mean. Some of the easiest stuff. It's a lot of fun. For a, like, 12 quid book, I'm having a real good time. It was just one section which was a letter, and all you had to use a word, and then the word you had to find, like, a P would go to an S, and it took me forever because it was 2 pages. I was like, excuse this, and it took me days. Oh, but it was beautiful. Well fun. So much fun. Really good. I refuse to look up the answers. Unless I think I've missed something, then I'm just quickly beep, but I don't do any more than that. I like it. It's a lot of fun. I haven't gone crazy. And I still refuse to get a job. Anyway, let me get this straight. Your friend wrote everything in code, locked it in a diary, then hid a key in a puzzle box, which doesn't look like a puzzle box. So proud of you. Thank you, sir. Yes, he was brilliant, but he had issues. Maybe he had a good reason. I had to agree, seeing that Sol was now fucking dead. Teacher, it is possible that Mr. Etienne could possibly read the code. As his father, Professor Sol may have taught it to Mr. Etienne when he was young. You're right, Moti. Let's ask him. The man has just come out of surgery. Bring Sharon into Etienne's room. Ask Sharon to wait for a moment. I feel like asking her to wait for a moment is respectful. Ow. Like, being like, look, mate, he's just been blown up. Give me 5. Oh, shit, I'm out. Alright, I'm going to ask her to wait, because I feel like that's just nice. It's a nice thing to do. Sharon agreed to wait, and I went back into Etienne's room. Sharon just figured out how to open your father's diary, but it's in code. Of course it is, he said, his eyes fixed greedily on the book. I passed it into his grasping hands, and he flipped it open and then swore. My heart sank. Who should I ask for help instead? Oh, I can translate the code into words and numbers for you. This is one of Dad's favourite codes, but it'll take a long time and a graphing calculator, and even after that, you need a scientist to actually make sense of it. But you can transcribe it. Certainly. I used to have to figure out notes in this code before Dad let me eat breakfast. What a brilliant teaching method. I flushed and shook my wrist to try and make Moti shut up. Can you teach me the code so it can be interpreted more efficiently? Dad, Dad's a bit of a dick. Daddy had a few issues. That's why he got shot. Etienne showily unclenched his jaw. No, I can't teach it to you. The code has different levels and it uses various keys on different pages and the keys are... Okay, well, do you know what? I can definitely crack this. This is what I've been doing. Okay, it's not related to family events, my codes, but it's related to a demon inside someone's head. I can do this. See, there's me. I don't see. The fish in the margin isn't a fish. It's the Greek letter for alpha, the first letter, which Dad often used to mean me as his firstborn. Oh. Computers are so much better at decoding. He doesn't know that. Let him have his pride. So, on pages with alpha scribble, the key is your name. It depends. This one looks like the key is 5th of June, 1987. Your birthday? No. Alright. That was the day of my first scientific experiment. Really? You can't have been very old. Barely walking. He relaxed, remembering the story. I wasn't fast enough to catch the dog, so I dragged his food dish next to my toy box and waited. When that didn't lure him in, I tried putting his favourite toy in there. No dice, but at that point Dad started filming it. You can hear Mum on the tape telling him this is not a documentary, it's his son. He sighed. Finally, I tried the dog's food again, but this time when he came and saw me waiting, I started eating the food myself. He came over and licked it off my face, and we got on fine after that. Mum never forgave Dog for letting me eat dog food. Oh, look, he ate dog food. Yeah, the other codes are all stuff like that. Stuff a computer could never figure out. Your human relationships are extremely complicated. I suppose they are, but in any case, I better get transcribing. You're in hospital with possibly paralysed legs. I handed over the diary gratefully. Etienne's eyes were drooping with exhaustion, so I helped to tuck the diary beneath his pillow and went back into the hallway with Sharon. Find out if others from number 5 made it, or use the media to report that you and I are presumed dead. Dog food is safe for human consumption. Is it actually? I've only ever tried cat biscuits, I'm not gonna lie. Small child with a cat. Everyone's tried a biscuit. The Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts both offer merit badges and dog care. Oh, nice. Right, find out if others from number 5 made it. Which would be good because of the Matreon. Or Matron, whatever the fuck her name is. Because she was in she's the top. Whereas I get used the media to report that you and Etienne are dead, so he doesn't come looking for you. But that can be done at any point. I'm gonna go find out. Okay, so she is still alive. Okay, so our Matreon is still alive. For some reason I felt it was safer with them two together. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, I said to the nurse who did the request. Good. Utterly exhausted, I returned to Etienne's room. What are you still doing here? The park warden asked suddenly. Apparently not asleep as I thought he had been. Figured you'd want the company. Nonsense, you have a job to do, so do it. I can't exactly go back to number 5. So where will you go instead? To Akiu's house, the eccentric Indonesian billionaire who's been recruiting the best and brightest from everywhere? Home? Okay, so obviously the bomb went off and Dolores said about Australia with the Stargazer. Now, the bit that happened earlier, we were talking to the astronomers, and the astronomers, here's the fun thing, here's what the astronomers think it's to do with. Time travel. Because they have 3 fucking giant pictures of the stars, and the stars are all exactly in the same place, but not all of them are the same size. And they believe it's to do with time travel. Fucking time travel. But they're talking about the stars. So when Dolores is called to say about Australia and the Stargazer, and she's got perfect night sky pictures, that could lead to what the astronomers were saying about time travel. Even though I do not believe time travel is what is played here. So, big brain, big brain. I'm getting well into it now that the murder's involved. And it's coming up to 3 hours. Oh, fuck. I wanted just to get to the end of this arc. I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe just someone rebooted the sun for a bit. Well, they did say one of the other ideas was from Miki, who thought eccentric billionaires were putting fucking satellites and shit to cover the sky and make it look like the sky. So the sun went out, but the sun didn't go out, and the billionaires had put things into the sky. This is where I've started to lose it. Because it's getting more eccentric, and I thought the game would be over. I prefer the... Let's go to the stars! We're going to the stars. We're not going to take my not boyfriend with us. But we're going to the stars. Is the arc complete yet? Is the arc complete yet? What about the Barcelona kidnapped my daughter and did all this? Victor Santiago left Japan, Sharon. Oh, there goes my plan to kick his teeth in today. Wait, no, it's definitely aliens. Aliens! What will you do now? Not yet decided. But look at you visiting Australia. Good on you. I smiled. Come with me. Onwards to Sharon's homeland to meet a stargazer. I didn't realise how long this game is going to be. 30% will be heading off Australia. Oh, only 43% of us are heading to Australia. I will begin it because I need to save it. So far, we have made 205 choices in this game. And I'm pretty sure there's a shit ton that you can do. Which is like, how do I quit again? I think I just quit now that I've saved it. There we go. Yeah, so I will tell you this. I am getting a bit, like, I think when we last played, because not a lot was happening, not like, it was still pretty cool and stuff, but it wasn't like this. And I love it when suddenly it's codes, shit like that. Seriously, that book, fucking beautiful. Except for that one code. The rest is just little bits of Bill trying to tell Ford he's gonna kill him in his sleep and he's gonna, peel off his skin and shit like that, all the fun stuff. The stuff I like. But yeah, I love codes. I love a good code. I love a good code, It's a good book too, it's really cute, and then there's the entire middle section where, like, there's no code, you just read, and then now Ford's taking back over the books, there's more codes, and now we're gonna see you leave me alone. It was my birthday gift from my dad, just so I could take pictures with it in the woods. I love it. I'm glad, even though John told me to watch it years ago, I'm glad I watched the show because Mal made me watch a couple of episodes and then I got hooked and that was it. I now own an entire outfit and I've dressed up in the woods and I'm doing a scrapbook that I thought only had 80 pages, but it doesn't. It technically has 160 because I did not calculate back and front. So technically I haven't got enough pictures for the first few bits that I had already planned out for the 80 pages. So now the next time we do it with the two other people we're going to do it with, I have to make even more pictures of everybody else so I can fit it in. So it can be 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 20, 20, 20, 12, 12, 12. But that's not the point. I shouldn't be allowed to hyperfixate on anything ever because as soon as I like something, it's a problem. You can tell it's a problem from everything in my room. And now I have a book that lets me do coding and read stuff that I already know. But I still like to read and do the coding in a little notepad. No such thing as liking something too much. That is very true. But at the same time, I do have a problem. And I go in and out. Like, when we think about, like, Star Wars is one of those things I will love no matter what. But until I get content of it, I won't think about it again. Kenobi did film where I'm fucking ripped. I swear to Jesus himself, if Kenobi is not good. Jumping off a bridge, because Ewan McGregor has said it's going to hit all fucking expectations, and I swear to you fucking God. I want posters, I want pop figures, I want everything. of Kenobi. It's gonna be Daddy McGregor. Ewan McGregor has my heart. So does a lot of older men, but he has my heart. If it's not good, I will cry. But that's another thing. Star Wars, exactly that. I don't sit there and think about every single thing. Obviously, I look at stuff and I look at lightsabers, but that's it. As soon as Kenobi comes back out, I'll be back on my Star Wars bullshit for every day. Daddy issues, what daddy? You leave. You fuck off. Older men are just the better way. Older anyone is just the better way to go. With extra money is a really good way to go. Life facts. You're not wrong. That's exactly it. But yeah, all of my fascinations are a problem, considering I have like 45 ducks. Just that. I have two plushies that are handmade by someone of good omens that me and Laura got. We both have a pair, and I'm pretty sure they're worth about 90 quid. 90. Something like that. That's how much I think we spent. Because I think it's 45 each. Hyper fixations. I have a sword that's a katana that's also a lightsaber. That I bought at Comic-Con for 55. Do I use it? Have I got anywhere to put it? No, it sits down the back of the bookcase. But it's a blue lightsaber. But a sword. This is why I'm not allowed adult money. Today I got my mustache from my costume. This is why I'm not allowed adult money. I don't even work. And the other day on 3 things, I spent nearly 90 quid. Just on 3 things. I low-key want to go to a Disney just to, We were planning a trip to Disney, the big one, and we've postponed it another year. The only lightsaber I have built from Disney is Disneyland Paris for like €30, and it's your typical cheap plastic one that you can build. But it was €30. I'm not gonna 20 something. I wasn't gonna say no to building a lightsaber. It lights up. It makes sounds. Why the fuck would I say no? But I will be dropping $300 on the lightsaber so I can cry during it, and the fucking Build-A-Droid. Oh god. That is it. I will buy other things, but that's all that matters. I get to Galaxy's Edge. And I build that saber. Wait, there's now... Yeah, so in Galaxy's Edge, they have the Sal's lightsabers or whatever it is. That when you book... you have to book like months in advance, because we were going to go next August 2022 for my birthday, but we're postponing it a year. And yeah, because obviously we're thinking of going Florida, because obviously bigger, we can spend 2 weeks, live our life, but also at the same time, I know that Laura at the moment desperately wants to go to California to go to the Avengers one. Yeah, you have Sal's lightsabers, which is the 300, and then you have the Build-A-Droid depot where you can either build an R2 unit or a BB unit in different colours, and you build it and you do some fun little soldering, and then you take them home. That's your droid for $100. Well, I will definitely, as soon as I come up, like, we are going to be in the US on this date to this date, come see us at Disney, come meet us at Galaxy's Edge. I see, I want an R2, but I have to go for a BB-8. Like, I'm not saying that he's like one of my loves. It's just, this isn't the only thing I have of the bastard. I already have one mini droid, I might as well get another one. But they're like remote control and drivable and stuff. So I definitely want to. Little. Welcome to today's talk. So this is the Tsum Tsum giant version. I also have the mini version. This is like the big fucker. And then this fucker is it's not little. This was an Easter gift from my father. This, I think this one came to see Rise of Skywalker with me. Did I take him? I'm pretty sure I took him. It's quite big. Really good pillow. And he stands on his own. So I'm not saying he became my favorite. Like, he's my top. Then it's Chopper, because Chopper is me if I was a droid. But BB-8 sort of took my heart when I got my love for Star Wars back. So I have a pop figure as well. I have a nightlight that my auntie bought me. Anything else, BB-8? I have pins. I have a pin. Oh yeah, my chop. The only thing I've got that's Chopper is on my bag. See if I can grab it, because no offense, I'm having a good conversation. Have BB-8. BB-8. Have a chat. Right. I don't actually need these on. So, see if the thing focuses. I don't think it will. But that's the Chopper I have. So that's the front. And the dark side sort of hidden outfit he wears is the back. And I got that off Etsy from Australia, nonetheless. Because I wanted something Chopper related when I watched Rebels for the first time during lockdown. I have a lot of stuff that I don't need. And yet here I am. Back you go. Go with the chicken. Go with the chicken. It's not my fault people keep buying me stuff or I keep stealing stuff from previous jobs. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. And anyway, Star Wars. Yeah, I probably should not buy any more Star Wars plushies or BB-8 plushies. Or any plushies for that matter. Keep getting bought more. Comic-Con's gonna ruin me. Isn't that right? How did I end up here? Anyway. God, I need to get a car. I am fucking so ready. My costume, I got my boots, I got my suit, I got my shirt, I got my mustache, I got my tie, even though it's green and not brown, but we couldn't find brown in Square, so we found green and we're just going to go with it. And then my wig is coming in the post in this week. And I will be done, except for drawing on the tie. My first... I haven't had a Comic-Con in so long. And I can't wait. I get to annoy Matt as well. It's like a dream. It's like a dream. But yeah, it is. I love Comic-Cons. I live from... Now that especially living in London, I am there whenever I get the chance. Like, even if there's no one to meet, I'm there. I'm gonna bully Matt into streaming it. Oh my god, do it. He can get a little camera onto, like, with little suits and stuff. And he can walk around with it. And then I can bully him on stream. While being there in real life, dressed as an old man. Like, excuse me, sir. Then, yeah, you should. If not, if he doesn't, I'll, my phone's shit, but I'll do it. It won't make sense as much as him having a little hidden camera, but... You know, we'll figure it out. We'll get you there in person. Somehow. I'm just so happy to be going again. Put the chat on text to speak. It'll be so awful. It will, like, but then again, if you don't get the Wi-Fi, the signal can be terrible. And the Wi-Fi doesn't always work. It's an entire place filled with 1 billion of people. Just phone you. We'll just boost some weird signal and try and keep signal the entire... Because I hated it. My mum would be like, where are you? And I'm like, fucking Comic-Con. Can you go away? But, Yeah, we'll try and get you there. Well, what we'll do, if Mao doesn't come, I'll get my clipboard and I'll put, have you seen this variant on a clipboard, and I'll put your face on it and I'll walk around with it all day. Like, have you seen this man? Excuse me, have you seen this man? Well, if Mao was coming, it was going to be a clipboard with Tobey Maguire on it, saying, "Have you seen this man?" Because he was going to wear a Tobey Maguire shirt. But I don't think he can get the time off because he's got the weekend off before it. So, I will get my clipboard out and you'll have to send me a picture that you would like to use. And I will put it on a thing and be like, have you seen this man? Wanted for destruction of WASCorp or creation of WASCorp. I'll do it. I've walked around. I'm gonna be walking around dressed as Owen Wilson, so there's worse things I could be doing. Way worse. Have I ever done worse? No, my best is Ron Swanson, and I'm going to replace it from Ron. My Facebook photo is going to be replaced from Ron Swanson to to Mobius. Holy shit, I love it. I can't wait. I got the suit now. I'm so happy. I fucking love Comic-Con so much. I need to wrap this up. It is 11. Sorry, BB. But I've had a lovely chat. Thank you for keeping me entertained. Considering Laura never came back from wherever she was walking from. She just died. Probably should go have some dinner. You probably should, but that's why I'm gonna leave so you can have dinner. Love our Tuesday stream. Honestly, I do love a good Tuesday stream. I would have loved a Wednesday stream before I made plans, but Matt said he was going to play different games, and now he's playing golf, and I'm just like, I have plans now. Damn boy. But yeah, I do love the Tuesday streams, and I will be sad if I ever have to go back to work and lose them. No, you can't. So I know, I messaged him, it's like, yeah, Wednesday if I do go live, it'll be a different VR game. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make plans then. And I made plans. So I'm still going to watch you guys play golf in the background, but I'm going to be playing Stardew. So, sad times. But I'm gaming every day this week, so dear God, I could not do 3 streams. 4 streams, sorry, I would have cried. Oh, Stardew, yeah, playing the expanded stuff. Me, John, and Laura on a Wednesday night play the expanded mod, and then on a Friday, yesterday and Friday night, I play with John just on our one. I play too much. So let's end this. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you again for the donation. Smudgeroony at the start giving me the follow as well. I appreciate both of them very much, especially for sitting there and listening to my voice for 3 hours, mispronounce words, and try and do it all. So thank you for watching, thank you for being here and all that shit. And until Saturday, when I'll be playing Lego Incredibles again, because I think we only have 4 levels left. Bye-bye.